All right, everyone, it's 3:01. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. Let's all stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, everyone, just as a reminder, if we can silence our phones, and if anybody would like to speak on the agenda on this meeting, please just sign up and give the little white paper to Laura.
Make sure you sign in even if you're not going to speak.
All right, so roll call in attendance, we have Carol, Ed, myself, and we have Doug, and I believe we have Bob online.
Bob is online, yeah.
All right, so I need a motion to allow Bob to join the meeting under streams.
Exception of circumstances.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Hey, Bob, can you hear us?
He is muted.
I need a thumbs up.
I can't see him.
How's this? Can
That's
you hear me now?
better. There we go.
Okay.
So approval of the final agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Public comment. What do we have?
All right, I've got 3. All right. First up is Rod Senior regarding Parks and Rec. Just reminder, 3 minutes. Please state your name for the record. When you get to the podium, I will not start your time until after you state your name. I got 2, I think. Or is it just that?
Really thick paper. You got some nice paper there, Rod.
Everybody got a copy? Okay, thank you. Rock Senior Gateway Greens. Our 2020, is Stephen Bloom on the line, by the way?
No, he's on his way here.
Okay. Our 2027 financial accounts don't tell the whole story. What's missing are useful management accounts. I've got a London Business School, a master's degree in finance and accounting. I'm qualified to say what I'm about to say. The attached handout that I've given you is distributed at 3 o'clock. I'm going to make sure it's part of the public hearing submission I make. The handout shows a snapshot business model for the Gateway Commons Pool and Soccer Complex that was created by Stephen Bloom at my request when I was on this board in 2016. It shows revenues matched against allocated operating and capital costs on the right-hand 2 columns. One metric that is missing, however, is the number of gateway and non-gateway users. If you don't know who is using your amenities or the allocated costs and revenues, you just can't manage your business. It isn't easy from the current financial accounts to figure out what the true direct and indirect costs are for the pool and the soccer. 2 weeks ago, our supervisor, Ed Tinkle, asked why the Commons Pool operating cost was showing only $112,000 on page 6 of the budget. The answer is that you have to play hide and seek to find the other missing costs, e.g. staffing, landscaping, insurance and security. The current financial accounting format is not useful. I therefore formally request the district to direct Stephen Bloom to reinstate this management accounting page. Was a business case made before investing $1.5 million in the pickleball, dodgeball, basketball and paddleball courts? Where are the usage projections to justify this investment, or are we just hoping that if we build it, they will come? Some useful usage metrics that we know. The Commons Pool, 800 pool passes, representing 13% of Gateway homes. Soccer, 300 Gateway kids, representing 5% of Gateway homes. These are unacceptably low usage rates and do not justify continuing to commit Gateway taxpayers' money to these amenities, notwithstanding our liability exposure. What is your acceptable usage hurdle rate for the new amenities? Is it 10%, 25% or 50%? How can you invest before knowing this vital metric? And the last thing I want to say is with respect to user fees. The new admin building provides a great opportunity for the district to set up a pay point for all paying users of our Parks and Rec, including lessons leagues and non-resident users. We should not allow vendors to control the revenue stream. It's a district facility and end users should pay directly to the district in the form of credit card or digital pay, no cash. So controlling the money in this way puts the district in the driving seat. Please extend this mindset to the soccer complex starting in the fall of 27, where 800 kids paying $400 here puts $320,000 into the district's coffers and not into the Gateway Soccer Association. That way, revenues and costs are transparent. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.
Next up, Terry Nelson regarding the FPL transmission line project.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Again, I'm Terry Nelson. I was here in April asking your help and support for this gateway easement and for the transmission line. And I want to thank you for what you've done. I know you don't always hear that from people coming up here, and we've been working with Chelsea, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Hampton Park FPL team, which is an authorized ad hoc committee for Hampton Park. So we do have some hopefully credibility, and I'm speaking on behalf of the people who couldn't come today, because we want to make sure that it's supported what we've done. A lot of work has gone into it. We've worked with Chelsea on it. She has drafted a letter, and we're asking you to approve that letter and send it on to FPL and stick with the project until it's complete. We really think somebody's going to need to be here when the bulldozers start, because, you know, we can't necessarily trust who's going to come here and do the work. And so thank you very much for what you've done. And the catchphrase is no clear cutting. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
All right, and finally we have Cheryl Malaterno regarding the dog park.
I understand
You need to
that,
state your name for the record.
oh, sorry, Cheryl Malaterno. I understand that on August 6th, there was a meeting held by the board to assess new fines for non-residents at $350, and residents would not be we wouldn't be paying anymore. Have you realized there are 200 members at the dog park? 145 are residents. The others are non-residents. They are not going to pay $350 to use the amenities here in Gateway. They have their own amenities. We have non-members that live in Renaissance. We have non-members that live in Pelican Preserve. We have non-members that live in Old Hickory. This is absolutely absurd. I'm a resident, and to do away with the $75 that I'm paying is really ridiculous, because you're losing everything. I am not going to use I don't use the facilities now. And I understand that the pickleball and the rest of the things aren't going to be completed till October. Why would you assess non-residents $350 when they have their own amenities? We don't have a restaurant. Plantation has a restaurant. Somerset has a restaurant. If we want a restaurant, we have to join Gateway Country Club. So I don't know where you came up with this $350, and I would really like an explanation. Plus, I don't mind not paying my $75, but I will definitely pay my $75 or $100 so that my non-residents can pay $175 or $200. But $350 is absolutely absurd. And you're going to lose a lot of revenue because people are going to go elsewhere. And to be perfectly honest with you, the dog park is not in the best condition, but we utilize it. And we like it just the way it is. We're planning on moving it, but nobody knows. And I also want to mention about parking. $2 for an hour for parking. Who's going to manage that? Are you going to manage that when the soccer people are there on Saturday and Sunday? I don't think so. And I don't think they're going to be paying $2 for an hour. That's just my feelings. And I would like to know where you came up with all these figures. And so would my non-resident and resident friends of the dog park would like to know. That's just my comment.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
You can stand up in the podium if you could for me, because I'm going to just follow up on a few things. Well, I didn't with Rod because I figured we are going to do it in public hearing again. But I want to clarify some stuff, just to be sure. First, with this $350, we want to clarify that to Cheryl, what it is.
Yeah, well, first, Cheryl, we only have about 100 dog park members signed up.
Okay, so if you like to, she will give you the answers, and if you have any questions, then I'll allow you to the board.
So we have 84 residents and 25 non-residents. The $350 is for the access to the park membership, which gets you to all of the amenities. So it gets you to the fun park, it gets you to the soccer complex, it gets you to the pool, it'll get you to the commons, it'll get you to the dog park, it gets you all of those things. Whereas before you only had individual access to just the dog park. So we are preparing a draft email to send out to the dog park users to notify them of the change. But all of the active memberships that are currently active, they're going to, continue until they expire. It's when they come up for renewal is when we have to look at those. And the non-residents will have to make a determination if they want to continue to have access to the dog park. An alternative option is to create a separate standalone dog park
I'm going to make that motion
fee.
later.
But that is, and we knew that any changes, the fees that we put into place, we may have to revisit those, but we haven't even built the new dog park yet, so.
If you'd like to speak, I'll ask you to, is it an additional question to what you already asked?
If you could come up here, just because it
Yes.
won't get recorded and no one online can hear you.
We want to make sure we get your comments, Cheryl,
Yes.
on the record.
On the record.
I'm sorry. One of my non-resident friends came up to renew pass, and she was told the fee was $350 now. But what amenities will be afforded to her? The pool?
Yes.
What else? Pickleball?
So here's what I think we need to. But I think your friend needs to contact the district, and then that's the conversation between the district and your friend. So nothing is missed, right? Because there's more incumbent, the same way that we may not relay the message correctly. So let's just have your friend contact, if not Georgia, CC Chelsea on it, and then we'll go ahead and go within that information. But as of now, I just wanted to make sure it's clear that the $350 is not for the dog park, it's for everything.
Right.
And just as you stated, if they have those amenities, they're more than welcome to use wherever they live. They're not required to use it here because,
No.
yeah. So, and we are not, and the reason why that is so, that there is an increase, and it is not even matching to 100%, to Rod's point a few meetings ago, it's that we Gateway residents, you may be okay subsidizing, but there's a lot of people that are not okay subsidizing. I'm personally paid the same taxes, and I'm personally not okay subsidizing for people that are not paying. So it may be, an argument that we're having this budget year for $10.99 for single-family homes that people are not willing to pay. Can you imagine $250 for non-residents? So I think it's best at this time that you just partner with Georgia later on and then CC Chelsea on it, and we can get all the information to your friend and you can relate to them. If you any other questions regarding to that, you can set, if you don't feel like you're getting the answer, CC me on it or any of the board members. We'll
Are
go
we
from there.
planning on putting in a restaurant?
No, I don't think.
I'd pay $350 for that.
All right, thank you, Cheryl. All right, anybody online?
No. No one can do it online.
Oh, yeah, I forgot, sorry. public hearing.
YouTube only.
All right,
I don't have any emails or anything either.
nothing? All right, so local achievements and recognition, anything that came out last
No.
minute? No, all right. So advisory committee, Parks and Recs.
Move to accept the reports of Parks and Rec and Pelican Preserve Advisory Committee as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Who was the second? Sorry. So we'll go ahead and move to approval of minutes.
I move to approve agenda items 8A, B, C, and D.
Ed, I second.
We have a motion by Carol, second by Ed. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Go ahead and,
By the way, the last one, that August 6th, that was all AI, right?
It started with AI, but Georgia edits. She goes through and makes changes.
Okay. Well, I thought they were very good, was my point.
Thank you.
And
They're in a different tone.
yes,
They're definitely different tone.
yes.
okay, so go ahead and move to consent agenda items.
I move agenda items 9A, B, and C.
I second.
I had no questions.
Okay, we'll go ahead and I have a motion from Carol to consent agenda items 9A, B, and C, second by Ed. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye. Claudius Bob, I got one quick question or a comment. I believe that the dog park lady mentioned that Pelican Reserve were not gateway guests. And I would like to get a clarification on that, because I think they're now supporting the Parks and Recs and are not considered out of gateway.
Okay, I guess. Our gateway residents as well. So he just want a clarification that they're not outside of the boundaries. Okay, so we'll go ahead and move to district engineer, Tetra Tech.
So Mason is on. Stephen had another meeting.
Eric has got two.
So we have Eric and Mason. All right.
Yep. Can everybody hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mason Lundquist, engineer. I work with Steve and I manage multiple projects for Gateway. Eric's also on the line if he wants to answer some questions for his projects. Well, we'll just go down the line here. Irrigation force main improvements project. We just responded to a recent inquiry from FDEM and we answered their questions. We're still just waiting on them to provide a contract for the force main improvements of it. So nothing really left to do there. The district secured SRF funding, and we're just waiting on HMGP, the CDBG funding. Lake bank restoration projects, that's also, we finished the design for all 20 of the lakes, and we submitted that to HMGP. They're now in their environmental review process, and we are awaiting a contract for phase 2. When we get that, we'll be able to put it out to bid for all those lakes. Pelican Preserve Boulevard Mill and Overlay. We're just continuing doing construction inspections, and they recently completed the milling and overlay, and now they're just striping. So,
Mason,
Sure.
1 second, please.
Just make sure that
sorry, go ahead.
just so we don't go further than stating the anticipated completion date.
That should reflect
The-
the anticipated and the actual. So if the project is to be completed, it should be the actual. If it's yet to be completed, it should be the anticipated. That should be always the most current, up-to-date number when it hits this boardroom.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, Mason.
All right. Now we're on the Sherman Soccer Complex parking expansion. We just incorporated that bank filter design from Ferguson. And the DO response has been submitted to the county. And now we're just working on responding to an RFI from the South Florida Water Management District and preparing bid documents. Public Works building relocation. We received approval from the county and the district. Now we're just working on bid docs. We're going to finalize those and begin the bidding process hopefully soon. Gateway Commons Park and Admin Building. Tetra Tech and Bowman remain engaged in the review of the submittals and the RFIs, as well as the observation. Construction is approximately 72% complete. And then we'll continue reviewing the submittals and the RFIs. The schedule shows that final completion will be late October.
Mason,
Mason, this is Carol
he's
Hancock.
locking it down because it's so loud.
How confident are you of that completion date? The end of October,
Eric,
28th?
Eric, if you could take that, please.
Or
Sure.
Eric?
Good evening. Yes, that's the latest schedule update as of this month. So that's OAK's opinion of when they will finish. I have no reason to doubt it. They, you know, they are 72% complete, and they are working diligently at this point to complete what's left to do. They've had a few issues, as Chelsea can elaborate on, with getting things going at the same time. I think they could definitely be going faster, and if they don't speed up, they could miss that deadline or that target date. But right now, there's no reason they can't hit it.
Eric, is that 10/28 a substantial completion date? It's not full completion, is it?
No, final completion is November 20th, and that's also when they're saying staff can move into the building. So substantial completion is October 23rd, I believe, is what the latest schedule says.
They are working on a TCO for us to get into the building at the end of October.
And that
Ahead of full
TCO,
completion? So they're going to be doing punch list while we're inside?
That's not exactly ideal, is it?
the TCO doesn't allow you to essentially work within the building. It allows you to start
$100 a day, though.
and getting everything situated for permanent occupancy.
Chelsea, are we on a month lease at the other office? Okay.
Yes. And we're, those incurred costs will be accumulating towards the discussions with OAK.
In addition to the $500 a day?
Yes.
Okay.
Any losses, any damages that the district is incurring as part of this project.
Is that what the contract documents say? Okay. Because typically,
Actual, I believe it says actual, in addition to liquidated damage. I think the phrase says actual, if I recall.
I guess, this is Carol Pancaw again. I guess my concern is that you're saying it's 72% completed. That means that there's more than a quarter of it to do in only 2 months. And it's been almost, it's more than 18 months, I know that. Since construction started, it
don't add.
yes. Are you giving us a hope and a prayer? Or what?
No, that's our best guess at when they'll be done is when they said they'd be done. The original schedule was kind of set by the bid documents. They dictated the August 5th completion date. And they ran into a lot of issues we've discussed before with permitting through Lee County. Building permits took a lot longer than expected. And then we had a number of non-compliance issues with earthwork and foundation and structural things we had to work through. So they've certainly made some mistakes along the way that slowed them down, but we're past those now. So I'm hopeful that they'll meet their new schedule.
Anything else for the Commons project? All right, go ahead, Mason, continue on.
All right, next up's the storm CCTV project. Phase 1 was just completed. It was substantially complete by APS. We did the walkthrough. They have a couple punch list items left. So we're just wrapping that up for final completion. And then we are waiting for how we're going to proceed with phase 2 of this project.
What's phase 1?
Phase 1 was Stony Brook.
Okay. Is the storm sewer inspection of I guess what's Gateway Greens? Is that phase 3? What phase is that? I thought it was done.
Gateway Greens would be, well, next is Hampton Park. I know that's for phase 2.
Okay, well, my question is has the TV, has the storm sewer, have the storm sewers in Gateway Greens been televised?
I'd need to go back and look. I'm not sure. But I can get you that answer and send it to Chelsea. I believe that might have been Tim.
Might have been what?
Tim, as it's my understanding, and please note that the start of this project started before I got here, is that at completion of this, the entire system will have been TV'd, unless we find some new stuff.
So what we're saying is that it could be that Gateway Greens was done as a phase 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, well, the reason I'm asking is we've had 3 specific, totally different located areas of storm sewers that sure don't look like they've been cleaned.
Yeah. So we're part of the GIS project is looking at all of the as-built and going back and looking at documents and making sure the pipes are accounted for on our GIS system, and then triple checking that we've cleaned all of those things, sanitary and storm, or at least have them on a schedule to get cleaned.
So do we have, this is why I hate those systems, I want paper. Do we have copies of reports that would show the results of television inspections that were done 5, 6 years ago?
Should, yes.
Where would those be that we
Online.
can look at?
Digital, they're digital.
Sucks.
If you tell me where specifically you're looking, we can look
Gateway
into it.
Greens. I don't trust any of it anymore.
I understand.
Something happened over there. I don't know, like I told Paul, somebody's got to be out there in the field inspecting this stuff as we go.
Yep.
I can tell you if it was done 6 years ago, a 24-inch sewer doesn't accumulate 20 inches of dirt.
Oh, unless we
That
didn't,
doesn't happen.
unless we didn't know about it, unless we just simply didn't know about it, so. Great. Go ahead, Mason.
All right, next up's the Griffin Drive sidewalk. We received comments from the Lee County Department of Transportation. We're revising the plans now. We're gonna finalize them and then submit for all the permit applications. We'll plan on doing that at the end of this month. Similar to the tree line sidewalk project, we're drafting plans up. We're hopefully gonna get the first draft anticipated at the end of this month as well. So we'll have
Before
multiple.
we start, what's your estimated completion date on preliminary or final plans on the tree line sidewalk?
End of this month.
Into this month?
Yeah.
I'd like to take and have those, even though it might cost us some money, before that thing gets built, that sidewalk is a critical sidewalk. And the area that it's going into is equally challenging. I'd like to see it staked out just to see what that sidewalk's going to look like going through there, because you've got some slopes that are pretty severe, and to avoid those slopes, you put the sidewalk next to the road. I mean, it's
been surveyed, and that's what they're driving their plans from, but you want it actual field
I want to
staked?
see what, I want to see what the survey was necessary to be able to do the design. I want to see what the design is saying to do with the survey. How much dirt they going to move? What are they going to do to get that sidewalk, instead of it's laid like this, laid flat? And if it's laid flat, it's going to have a drop off with those angles. How are we doing that?
We can get a
That's
price.
what I'd like to
We
see a
can get a
picture of.
price on getting additional survey work.
And that'll reinforce this is Bob, that'll reinforce our effort to get it away from the street. That sidewalk is going to be dangerous if they put it in like they did up at the portion with, where Pelican meets Pelican Reserve Boulevard, where Tree Line meets Pelican. And at least at the portion going up to Pelican Reserve Boulevard, it's straight. But what we're doing now is very curvaceous. So I second that, Ed. I definitely want to do that.
That sidewalk is going to be a challenge to build. That's not going to have problems.
All right, we'll get pricing before we decide to submit that to the county. It's just going to delay the actual construction of it.
The staking out could be done parallel or consistent with it. I just want to make sure we know what we're approving and not wait till we get into construction and have a change order.
I don't want to submit for permits if we're going to change the design based on staking.
Mason, you're making a lot of noise. Oh,
I'm
somebody's
willing
loud.
to wait to get it right. I'm willing to wait to get it right.
Right.
Okay, once it gets staked out, it'll be real easy and real quick to see if this thing is going to be
It's fine.
usable or not.
Okay. We'll get pricing on it. Go ahead, Mason.
All right, next up's the communities for rehabilitation. We're just waiting on getting into the bidding process. So that should hopefully get going soon. At the NPDES annual report, we're preparing that and we're gonna hopefully finalize that here soon in September, late September. The irrigation system replacement project, Capur is at 90% design and they're working towards that 100% design. Hopefully they're going to finish the plans up by the end of this year and then put it out to bid early 2027 and then start in construction in May of 2027. That's the goal. Pelican Preserve Pond 21, we're drafting the construction plans now. And then we're going to hopefully get something by the end of this month. Supplemental engineers report. We're just awaiting additional comments. Once we receive those, we'll submit a final report.
Who are those comments coming from?
Staff and the team.
I think,
The engineer's report. Okay.
I don't believe it's been sent to me yet. I'll double check.
Double check.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Mason.
GIS support services. We have created an HOA directory map that is Alex Montalvo, and then details to be published on the site. New meter box locations have been mapped and connected. Our goal is to finalize the web map for publishing and continue mapping the easements from the official records and plats.
Bob,
Daniel's-
hold on, Mason. Bob, I have
Sure.
Ed Hedges participating in that call tomorrow to look at what we're anticipating on publishing. So hopefully he'll be satisfied that,
All the information that's gathering, okay.
yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Sounds good. Daniels Parkway Apartments, continuing doing construction inspections. They're installing stormwater and gravity mains. Santa Luz construction's ongoing. Punch list is awaiting for Lennar to complete the work. KO Pilon, that's in review. The driving range pond on Lake 122 is currently in review. Grace Community School recommendation for approval. And the Garrett FM construction is wrapping up, conducting inspections monthly.
Go ahead.
Remind me of the
Anything for Tetra Tech?
I don't have anything. Doug, nothing? Bob, nothing? Karen, that? Okay,
No, I have
thank
nothing.
you.
Thank you, Mason. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
All right, admin, anything?
No, but we did have a late request for a.
Submission? Okay.
Sorry, I
No.
didn't realize
You're fine, you're fine.
I should know better.
You have 3 minutes.
Kathleen,
Kathleen DeCourt.
Yep,
Yes, I
3
do
minutes.
not live in Gateway. I have belonged to the dog park a decade, before there was a dog park. But we have paid and we've paid as the rates go up. And I just wanted to reinforce what Cheryl said, we're willing to pay. We back out at $350, but there's a lot of people who just want to use the dog park because Gateway's part of our community, whether we belong to Gateway or not. We don't have a lot of dog parks in our community. There's really nowhere to go. And it's a very tight-knit community and our dogs love it. We love it. And we've paid a lot of money over the years and watched it increase and increase. And we have willingly paid in and not had the upkeep. We've kept paying, even though Cheryl has a point. It has not been kept up, but we go because it's fine. It works. It's a fenced-in area. The dogs run, the dogs play. That's all we need. But I would really ask you guys to consider, and I do think I heard you might propose that, of having a dog park only membership, because I live in Marina Bay.
Can't do
We
it.
don't-
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah. We can
You
make
can't do it.
that motion, because,
If we move the dog park, it becomes part of the park. There's no way to exclude.
yeah, and
Like, I'm just saying, like.
we'll engage
you know,
conversation.
the pool, the pickleball, like a lot of.
And that's a decision.
Dog park, and we've been doing that for 10 years.
All right, so,
And, or lower it, or, I mean, it's just, we've paid into it willingly, not getting out of what we've paid into it, just as far as when they've said we're gonna do the weeds, or we're gonna mow, or dead trees, or things like that, we've willingly paid that. There is a point where we don't. I mean, it's obviously up to you guys, if you wanna provide that service as part of the community, there's nothing we can do about it, but, I mean, just as one of the many non-Gateway people, and I know a lot of them, we had enough that we had tables at our daughter's wedding of Gateway Dog Park people. I mean, it's just, it's part of the community. That's all, that's all I can say, because I don't live here and I don't have much of a say, but I did want you to hear a non-Gateway person's opinion.
thank you. All right. I don't know, maybe I'll just touch on this now. While anyone can make a motion for anything they like, I'm not going to be the one to stop it, but this motion, it wouldn't be able to go anywhere because the fee schedule is already approved via a public hearing. So if that's the case, then this needs to be an agenda to be able to propose, and then the board at that time sets up a new public hearing and so forth, so forth. Am I right, Tony?
That's correct.
Okay, so I don't want to give you any hopes. I mean, you're welcome to stay, but that's not going to happen today because none of us will have the ability to do so. And the process is not just put in an agenda and do it at the next meeting, okay? Thank you. We'll go ahead and move to district manager reports, monthly reports.
Yes. Laura, anything for admin?
Anybody any questions for Laura reports?
I have two separate things that I'll bring up now as part of the admin. So
Let me ask just one quick question. Can the dog park be rented? Can you rent the dog park?
we could add it as part of the fee schedule and provide that as an opportunity, yes.
You could rent it in blocks.
Yes,
No, but in theory,
yes.
you could rent it for 30 minutes or an hour.
To be sold to, any other amenities, you could do that, yeah. Okay,
Say it again, that you,
A person or a group could in
my
theory.
phone rang over, and sometimes these things fall through the cracks when you're doing this and you don't know it because you don't work with it. But an example that was given to me is several of them that have family that live in communities next to Gateway, and they come visit their moms, their dads, their grandmas, grandpas, and they have a dog, and the two come over. They have to pay $350 to come over with their dog. They don't care about the pool. They don't care about those other things. We need to have something that addresses that issue. That's family that impacts our owners. I think it needs some consideration.
so then let me ask you this question, just food for thought. I only want to use the pool. Are you now going to give me a discount because I'm not going to use the dog park and I'm not going to use the soccer field? Do you see what kind of worms we're opening? So later in the future, I think we can assess that. I think what we planned was a good 1 year of figuring it out. In 1 year, what can we adjust and not? But the same thought of,
Well, Rod brings up a good point. We've got to take and visit this thing. It's not now. We're going to have to wait till we get the numbers. But with these numbers that we've got right now, if things don't change, stuff's going to go closed. I'll vote to close them down, and I think the new election will vote to close them down. The story, I don't know if the rest of you hear it, but I hear it at my club. What the hell are you doing? You're spending this money like drunk sailors. What are you doing it for? 15% of the people are the only ones that are using it. What are you doing this for? You're going to get a board in here that's not going to put up with this.
So
I think we need to reconsider. We got time. We've got it right now. We've got a plan. But these numbers, I agree with Rod, these numbers have got to be done back the way we used to do it and see, so these things stand alone. They're being hidden, and that's not good. That pool needs to stand on its own. That park needs to stand on its own. Soccer needs to stand on its own, and we need the numbers. This method we have right now, as we found at that last meeting, they've been merged. That's not good.
you just want more detail with the line items. I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Right
because,
right now, as far as I can see, is three things. The park, the pool, and soccer. Those three.
So going back to the dog park concern, that actually, we've been having internal conversations as these things are changing, and that begged the question, should I say barked the question? Thank you, Carol. That one of the things that we've been doing is the documentation that the dog park users provide for the vaccination and that they have all of their shots, we've been requiring and keeping it on record. So Ed, to your point of that example, technically the friends shouldn't be able to bring their dog because we haven't proved that they have been vaccinated or that they have the rabies shots. So this conversation begged the bigger question of, do we want to be like Lee County parks where we don't look for the valid documentation of the shots and the rabies and the vaccinations and just have it as a dog park? You get access to it by your membership card. We don't check to make sure, Scooter's been vaccinated. You just take your dog there. Or do we continue to require the sign up, require the documentation, enforce the documentation? They're kind of
Well, maybe I need to get up to speed. Before we did what we did, what was the method for somebody that lives here in the community? They have a dog, they paid a fee, correct? 25, 50, whatever it was. If they had a guest that had a dog, a family member that had a dog, they couldn't even be a member, or couldn't even come in?
They would have to come in and pay, and they would have to.
Make her say no.
We just added the non-member not that long ago.
No, he's asking,
Before.
they had to pay, and then,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yes, and they had to
member
bring
had
in-
pay, that's what he's asking.
My question was, what would they have paid for their son or daughter to bring their dog in if they were aboard and did it?
They would have had to have paid prove the gateway residency and then prove the vaccination and the rabies and all that
He's
stuff.
not asking that, he's asking,
guest.
a guess. There's no such a thing as a guess. This,
the dog owner and you bring in your dog.
So no outsider users get in here.
Non-residents and residents.
but not a guest, you have to buy a, yeah.
Okay,
That's,
then the
They have to
terminology
prove
I
they have
want.
their shots.
A non-resident that happens to be the son or daughter of an owner, what did they pay?
it doesn't matter who their family is, it
Either a
doesn't matter,
resident or
is a non-resident. Same issue that you brought it up at the pool.
The question is, what did they pay?
It was 150, right? The 75 was the latest for gateway residents, and I think it was almost double for
Okay,
non-residents.
that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So we're going from 150 to 350 is what they're seeing.
Because and then I guess to Cheryl's point, she said that Georgia said that then she took back. So maybe if the explanation is to the dog park people, like now you no longer is a separate line item. When it's 350, you actually going to gain access to a lot more. Because if those communities that they're talking about, they may have a pool, but the majority of people that live on the other side of 82, they do not have a clubhouse, they do not have a pool unless they have their own. So now they have the ability to use that facility because they're paying for it. So I think before we jump out there, I think we should continue with our process, what we thought it was a year, so we can gather the information and then absolutely readjust if needed. Less, more, remove it, add it. I think we need the data to be able to do that. And I think we should, I also agree that the more specific line items that, and I know Laura can pull this up, even though it's combined into one line item, Parks and Recs, if we do want it, and we can always ask Laura to break it down to us on those pool, soccer, and so forth, that is always available. So it's not like we're hiding it, it's just not showing it here because that's the format that we went. Am I right, Laura?
It depends on how the stuff was entered because it's all lumped together.
We can,
but
we can.
I
We
can
do
with,
it. We can do it,
yes.
yes.
The data's all there, yes.
That's what I mean, the data is there.
Yes.
It's gonna take time to get it.
We can do it.
Nothing else for Laura?
Well, I have two things while we're under admin. You may have got some calls or heard, but we did do the launch of the residential parking permits or fee, or, not permits. I know Tony picked up his head when he heard me say permit, but the residential parking pass. So that did go out today. We're working through some issues. We're updating it, but if anybody has any questions, they can always call, but it's pretty seamless. You should be able to do it from at home, on your phone, on a computer. You don't even have to come to the office, but we're there to help if you need. So all of our Gateway residents, zero cost parking membership.
They have to register.
They have to register.
Yeah.
Yep, we're planning on going
We need to
live.
make sure that is plastered
Yeah,
in the soccer complex.
Doug, it
And-
was all
and-
simple. I did it today, only I got confused there.
I did it too.
The issue was, my opinion, if the reason we want the identification is to verify that the car that you're licensing, you own, and it's not somebody else's car, all you need to do is, like Chelsea said, take your registration, take a picture of it, attach it to your documents, and then add it. But it doesn't say that. It talks about water bills and sewer bills and all that other crap. You want the registration of the car is all you want. You don't need anything.
And what I think we should do is, I mean, again, we should
was
have
easy,
clear
though.
instructions at their primary areas, and then we need to make sure that we send these instructions to the leagues so they can insert it. So if you're a resident, if you don't want to be charged for parking, make sure you register.
So,
That deal today was for owners. but
residents, it's only for residents.
I'm saying for the.
To send it to the league, so the league send it to the parents.
So when they send out information for registration or season information, they say, if you are a Gateway resident, you do not pay for parking, but you have to make sure that you are registered.
Doug, we did have, I looked at it, I think yesterday with Randy, a specialized email only to the leagues for them to just simply forward on to their participants. In addition to that, we've asked Premium Parking if they can come set up essentially like a table on opening day to help just go through the process. So waiting to hear back if they have the resources to help with that, but
I think we should look, I think we should look at volunteers as well.
yeah,
So have a couple of people just walk
like 6 kids, right?
walk
You can send
around
them
and
all.
say, hey, if you're a Gateway resident, here's the QR code to register or whatever. Yeah.
One thing that we did, and I forwarded that to you, so I saw an email post, I think, and you said you did email the registration to all the property managers, right?
Yes, everybody signed up and.
So I
constant
had
contact.
them sent out to my community, and then I think the community across, because we share the same cam. So I know I had all my residents go in, but I did check it, and I had only one call out, because the water bill does not come in my name, even though the house is mine, it comes on Tim's name, all the bills go to him. So when I went to register, I'm like, okay, here's the water bill, but it doesn't have my name on it, and then,
The trouble with the water bill is that doesn't show compliance of
yeah.
your car
So, but the
belonging to you.
registration, so that's.
So I actually sent it to a couple of you individually to test it before we launched it, just to get your feedback. And again, we're tweaking things. If any of you need help, please let me know. We'd be happy to work through it.
We have
It's a
76,
As of an hour ago, we had 76 people already register.
Ballpark. How many outsiders are going to be filling out that same information? 1,000?
Probably.
Non-Gateway?
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's,
I would think that if we're going to be charging, first game is on September 2, you're going to have chaos at midnight on September 1. Because they won't be able to get in because they don't have the stickers.
they already had, I can tell you that they had meetings about this, the leagues, because one person that is involved, that lives in my neighborhood, reached out to me, and I kept saying, just wait, I'm not giving you communication, it's gonna come from Chelsea, so I'm not creating a document, so you're just gonna have to wait, it's gonna take effect September 1st.
When's the league start playing?
September.
So they have 10 days basically to get 1,000 cars registered.
we're working through it. The other thing, which I'll pass out real quick, if I can just pass this along to you all. Oop, this one's mine, hold on. Yes, Laura, I will put it in the file. So this came up as part of the landscaping of the commons. Essentially, we have stabilized parking, grass parking in areas of the commons. As part of the design, we missed irrigation of those grassy areas. I got a price from the contractor to do irrigation, which is approximately $11,000, and they also gave me a price if we wanted to just pave these areas, and it's right around $40,000. Because it's over 30, I didn't know if you, as a board, would be interested in us just paving these areas, and then that way we don't have ongoing mowing and irrigation costs for the grassy parking areas.
The areas being the green or
Yes,
being the red?
the green, all of the green,
So all of the green has no irrigation?
correct.
So, I mean, I think it's saying it, but I think it's 11,000 just to do the irrigation, and that doesn't count the water, I think we'll recoup this in what, 4 years? If less,
Why wasn't this part of the original?
they missed it.
Bahia.
Because that was Bahia, and Bahia does not require irrigation, but then later on, the board decided that we're going to
Okay.
keep the same sod, so I wanna say it's not a miss, is that it was a miss on us after we changed what type of grass was gonna go in, because Bahia does not require irrigation, that's why it was not there. But now we say we're gonna put all palmetto everywhere, which then requires irrigation, and then those areas needed it. So I think $11,000 to irrigation plus maintenance every year for perpetuity versus 40,000, you're still gonna have some type of maintenance, but the usage will be.
So you're saying.
How many parking spots are in the pavement and how many parking spots are in the green?
Oh man, you're gonna make me count these real quick, aren't you?
Because if we were only going to be using that a small percentage of the time, then I don't see the advantage of doing that. But if we're going to have overflow exceeding this and that grass areas are going to be used, then now you've got a long-term analysis that you have to do as to whether it's cost effective.
Are you saying this could be additional parking?
Yeah, how many parking spots are on all these green
78.
compared to the regular?
78.
Yeah.
And just, the only reason I'm asking this is because what I anticipate is the majority of people parking as close to the court sports as they possibly can, which as you can see is up here in this corner,
It's all green.
and it's
Right
all
here.
green.
Just from the standpoint of practical, and North Collier Regional Park by the main office building there, not the water park, they have grass parking. And after a while, it gets abused. I mean, the condition of it, whether it's irrigated or not.
You go through a period where it's dry,
You get-
it's
The grass
gonna
is
get torn up.
problematic, yeah.
Well, if you choose to keep it grass, our vendor and the vendor that the contractor is using has suggested to put Bahia and not Palmetto.
Wait, if that's going to be used for overflow parking, then you wouldn't want to put nice grass there. Because you're just going to be riding over it, riding over it. So that'd be
Look
a
like
heck.
crap, though.
I mean, I think this is, I'm disappointed that it's the 9th hour and we're talking about parking and irrigation here. I mean, either you have to do the concrete grid to hold, or different structure, but I think at this point, you might as well just create additional parking. More parking is better than less
Spots
parking.
do we have? I didn't-
In other words, Doug, you're saying.
Parking, yeah, and my other concern, since we're talking about parking, is the existing parking area, we just left that as is, right? Are we coding it or are we leaving it as is?
As is.
So when you come in, you've got old
Yes.
concrete that turns into asphalt.
It's all asphalt, but yes, it's old
And then
asphalt.
another area you can see where it's poured at different times, so it looks very disjointed, in my opinion. I'm hoping it won't when it's done.
What you see, just the patching, it is not planned to do a fresh mill and
I would
overlay.
encourage everyone to, maybe not now, maybe in a month or two, but when you go over there, it's not gonna look all shiny and new.
So
What's
one
what?
of the options is to concrete all of the green
Blacktop.
and mark it
Blacktop
for
it, yeah.
parking spaces.
It's
accordingly.
parking, it's either asphalt or leave it as
How many green?
Asphalt. Okay, and how much is that gonna cost?
about $40,000. To do all of these green,
Spots are there?
78.
78 in the green, how many are in the plain?
I didn't count the others.
Looks to me like there's a little less. How many cars typically are we expecting that to me determines the need of how bad is that grass going to be used and watering and all those other things. But I agree with you, the people that are going to be using the park part of this whole deal are up in an area where it's all grass, basically.
I mean, I don't
Well,
think.
you're gonna have
I-
enough other grass
Where
around
Chelsea,
it,
where
and
Chelsea's calling out by the
if
courts, I'd
basically
say,
this
yeah,
is to be
let's
used for parking,
let's
make them
asphalt
parking
that,
spaces.
probably this
Yeah, that's what
area.
I'm saying.
These, we could probably just leave as here.
So the problem with the Bahia, like we can do that, the problem with the Bahia is with time, the seedings, because Bahia actually seeds.
It's gonna-
It's gonna
it's
go into
gonna
the floor
go into the
10,
other grass.
okay?
You do not want
Because
Bahia.
the palmetto does not seed and go to Bahia, Bahia seeds to floor
Those are
10,
at
yeah.
once.
Are
I
you
would-
looking for a motion or are you looking for direction?
Yes. To both. Yes to both.
I move that we make the green marked areas, pavement, and mark it for parking at a cost of not to exceed $50,000.
And there's no drainage necessary, correct?
I ran it by Rick.
And does that parking include striping?
Yes.
That price includes striping?
They don't have me an exact price. The pricing of paving was like 38, so I asked for,
50 grand will cover.
she just, yes.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor for Carol to,
Doug, I'll second.
second by Doug. Any other discussion? No? Bob, nothing? All right, we'll call for a
Nothing.
vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 That's all I had for admin. Did anybody have anything for Public Works?
Oh, I just had one thing. In your admin report, you had the diagram there for soccer income by month and fiscal year. And of course, there's the big spike, September of '25. What do we have, what are we anticipating that September of '26 is going to be like?
I don't know yet because we just switched over to our new Parks and Rec management system last week, Wednesday. So we're working with the leagues to get them in there, get them set up so that they can sign up.
They haven't signed up for
We,
times?
no, we
at
just,
all?
we just opened the software up last Wednesday. So it's only been open for a week, so we're working on that. They don't normally reserve their stuff until the end of August anyway, so this is right around the time that they normally.
This is the 20th of
I
August.
know, this is the, they
Okay.
wait till the last minute usually, so.
All right.
Yeah, this is normally the
Okay.
time that they go in.
All right. We don't know.
More than that. Of, we increased the fees, and we anticipate the same amount of league renters to come back.
We did find out that we lost one. We lost Cruz.
Okay. So,
All right, thank you.
I would just stress to Parks and Rec is, I think, and Tony, I'm not sure if you know the date, but both the Vineyards and North Collier fields, at least 50 or 60% of those fields are closed until at least September. And the discussion in like the sports world is there's no fields in Collier County other than Paradise Coast and Big Horseshoe. So there is a high demand for field usage right now. So if I was in Parks and Rec, I would be making some phone calls to different leagues, letting them know what our availability is so we can try to maximize that usage.
okay. Good info. All right, anything for Public Works?
I have a question, not Public Works, but, so I remember about the veterans that we were allowed the parking, for state vehicles. Do they still have to register? Yes, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They can submit the form and just say that it is a work vehicle or. All right, anything for Public Works? Nothing for Public Works?
Only thing I've got, Paul, guys might get out, go around looking at the ponds. We've got RMAX showing in a lot of locations, even with the high water level. But what scares me is that with the water level, we probably won't see that going down. But with this heat, that heat's right on that RMAX, and that stuff does not take heat.
Okay.
So we need to maybe look around the ponds and see which ones need. And the one I saw the other day, and I was trying to think of which was that, but my problem is you're gonna need a helicopter to drop the stone in. It's not easy to access. So we're gonna have some issues of how to get stone to those points.
Where?
I was trying to think of where it was. It was on the golf course, I know
Okay.
that. But it was someplace to where houses were in the way. The only thing I know is get like one of those 2-yard buckets and have to haul it around. I'll tell you where it was. Callaway Greens, right along that pond, that little finger inlet that goes along the east side between it and the driving range. That's where it was at.
Okay, so for the record, Paul Flores, Public Works Director. I've been trying to strategize how to deal with all the stone point repairs that we need to do, Gateway Green. So it's on our list. We are looking at them. we're carrying over some of the work from last year. So that's going to be our target once we hit the dry season. Okay.
So what I'm hearing is you want me to go volunteer on the golf course to look at all the point repairs that are needed.
No, I just want somebody to go look to get an idea of how many cubic yards of number 4 stone we're going to need to put back on there, because we've got a warranty issue with that product.
Yep.
It's no good if it's in the sun.
We'll get
You
it.
have a driver's license?
Hmm?
You have a driver's license?
No, I lost mine.
I was gonna say, you can take the Kubota and go around.
She was used my golf cart. That's what you want. No.
Anything else for public?
The only other one Paul and I've been working on, again, those great Gateway Greens sewer issues, trying to look at maps to see what we've got, but he was out, what was it, you or Mark?
Matt, myself, yeah.
Matt went out and we found a, 24-inch going into the lake, and it had debris in it. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. But if it wasn't done in the last 6 years, and it was 10 years ago, you're supposed to redo all those every 10 years. So that would say there would be time to do it. So it's critical to know, was that last cleaning done 6 years ago, 4 years ago, or 10 years ago?
We'll get with Tetra Tech and look at that.
Thank you, Paul.
Anything for utilities?
Yes.
Mr. Boxes on boxes and meters on meters.
Boxes all over the place.
I was intrigued, the second item down on your report, the utility capital projects report, that the meter system is 98.77% done. So give us, if you could.
Smile.
Better than the parks.
Well, I mean, this has been one of the major projects, well, during the time that I've been on this board at least. So could you maybe expand on that a little bit more? I mean, are we just doing cleanup, or
So
is it?
we're currently working through finishing up the commercial locations and also the tree root and/or asphalt problematic residential locations.
How many homes? I know in Gateway Greens, I've got at least a dozen and a half that are not done.
I believe we have a list of
8,349
approximately
meters
just a
installed.
I'm
little.
talking about houses, homeowners that have tree problems. How many are there?
Oh,
I think we have around 100 on a list.
Dude, it's more than I thought.
So it's more than Gateway Greens.
And then,
It's-
then the
that's
big one
other
is the
communities
commercials, especially like our 53 HOA installations. Some of them are simple. Some of them are simple. The runs in the cul-de-sacs, they're no-brainers. Those 1-inch, 2-inch, and bigger ones that are sitting on mounds look horrible. And I've had my main entrance with a box and green fabric and dirt pile now for 3.5 months. It looks, nobody else would put up with that. Nobody else would put up with it. Either tell them to get it out and get it fixed, or take it away. But don't just leave it in the front of our entrance. My people are pissed off about this stuff. Nobody seems to care. It's outside, out of mind. Need to get that done.
okay, so when do you think, so by the end of this calendar year, are we going to have everything done?
I really want to say yes.
Okay.
I really want to say somewhere close to beginning of fiscal year.
Oh, even better. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, as we go through things and encounter things, who knows what the hangup's going to be.
we still have the problem?
We are going to have to do some irrigation shutdown schedules in order to replace some of the irrigation meters. So we're currently working on trying to compile all those locations, determine how we're going to shut them down, and then make a plan on when that's going to get done and do all that. So I'm currently working through just making sure where our isolation points are going to be, what's going to be affected, so that we can get all the notice out to everyone who needs it.
And,
Go ahead.
and then I was also intrigued by the leak and high water notifications, that they've almost doubled from what they were last year. But it seemed from the explanation that that's because we're getting accurate readings now and people aren't having to wait. So when we make these notifications, because there's more of them and people never want to hear about it, but they want to hear as soon as we possibly know too, are we being gentle when we're doing this and allowing for, that this is summer, people aren't here, yada, 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 yada? Are we?
I would hope we are. That would be Leslie that's
Uh-huh.
giving those notifications out. So I don't know exactly the wording that's going out, but
Don't they make actual phone calls? Don't they actually talk to the people when they make those notifications?
I think they try to call whatever we have on file
Okay.
as a way to reach the customer. I know we've knocked on doors. Some people are there, some people aren't, so.
Well, I guess I just wanted to urge you to be gentle
Yeah.
in making the notifications and try and be as, because this too will pass. Couple months, it'll be high, and then the system will start working the way it's supposed to, and it'll be fine. But be gentle on people.
Okay.
Billy, pleased with the rating system. Gateway Greens is the oldest system here in the community. Our meters are almost 40, or our fire hydrants are almost 40 years old. Why would we be doing an area where the fire hydrants are, first of all, in a commercial area? Why do they have any rating? That doesn't affect property value in a commercial area, but it sure as hell does in residential. So I would like to see the blue and the green flip numbers, 1 and 2 and 2 and 1.
We'll look at reconfiguring.
Yeah. Same number, 118, 117 meters. But we've waited a long time. There has been no service on those meters in 40 years, or those fire hydrants in 40 years. Nothing. Now, I have seen the guys out, and they've been doing some testing. But those things haven't seen a paintbrush since Christ was a child. Well, this shows a 5-year plan. To me, that's, why are we doing it so long? Let's get it done. Why are we doing it, scattering it out over 5 years?
Because we're trying to make a sustainable plan.
That doesn't
With
please
all
the
the other
residents,
work.
though.
So,
It should have been done a long time ago. That's why I'm saying do it all at one time. Get it done.
These, again, these are
What?
aesthetic in nature. The hydrants are operable,
No doubt about that.
so it's, we.
Well, I don't know that I'd agree with that. I have not seen anybody doing a flow test on a hydrant in Gateway Greens, and I've been here almost 40 years. Never have I seen it. Is that our responsibility or the fire department?
Fire department.
fire department periodically.
So how do we know they're operable if we're not operating them?
Fire depart, the South Trail.
How are they doing it if they aren't doing the test?
Well, we're going to contact them.
If you could let me
You're
answer.
getting- You're getting bulls, you know what, and they are not doing the testing. I've been here. They've never done it.
If you could let me answer.
Get a record.
They have access to our cartograph system. And every time that they go in and touch the things, they do a report that they have touched the
Would
things.
you give me a copy of that report for Gateway Greens?
Oh, yes, we can do
I want
that.
to see it because I don't believe it. I don't.
I'm not defending them. I'm just telling you, since I've been here, we 100% know that they have been touching them.
I saw them charge, I would say this, not that I watch it, but I can say one time I have seen it because it was right in front of my house. And then suddenly it was like brown, because I don't know, in my mind it was going to be clear water. It was brown water coming out. I was like, oh, a sewer pipe broke or something. It's just coming straight out, and it was the fire department.
I do know, and I
Yeah.
believe may not be completing Gateway Greens for this year, but I know last year as part of our exercising and maintenance program that we touched all the hydrants.
I would like to see in Gateway Greens what their record shows of when they did fire testing.
So
Like I say, I've been here, I've never seen it, never. And you would think the odds are, because I don't go on vacations, you would see it once in a while. I've not seen it, so show it to me and I'll believe it. Then I want to go back to Paul.
Which one is the closest to your house? We'll make sure we send him that way.
There's one 350 feet from my house.
Okay.
Please go touch Ed's hydrants.
The reason half of them are is because they're in locations where unless Tarzan went in there, they couldn't get to it anyway. Nobody's been there and tested those. I'm not buying that.
Well, we know because they break our things. That's how we know, because that's how we get
I've
notified.
seen the guys out recently and they've been doing work on the hydrants, our guys,
Yes.
but that's not a flow test.
No.
Then, question,
Wait, before you jump, we have gotten a price to hire a company to come in and paint all of the hydrants at one time. It's like $40,000. So that is something we can entertain if that is something that we can bring back to the board.
cost it should have been done for the last 20 years.
I don't disagree.
So,
But if the board wants us to just rip the Band-Aid and do them all at one time instead of phase them, just know that in a couple years, you know, we're gonna have to, it'll phase.
We've gone 40 years, what's 5 or 6? This is ridiculous. Let's get it done. Let's get it done.
We will bring back the contract to have it painted.
And then, Paul, I forgot one thing. I
Paul
was
already
pleased to see this. That's nice. My only thing is that go down Gateway Greens, any road, and all of our inlets look like that. What are we doing about those?
Slowly
We're
but surely.
doing curbs and gutters right now on about $1 million worth of work. And we're going by things like this because they're not ours. When are we going to, I've got people ask me, why are you spending all this money tearing out all these curbs when you got that in that looks like chunks of concrete and steel sticking out? When are we going to, have we got what do I want to call a maintenance plan for doing all of these?
This is Paul again. Ed, to answer your question, yes, it is something that we're wanting to start. We just discovered our crew are able to do that kind of work. That was the first step we had to take. This was the first time we've tried to do these type of repairs.
In-house.
In-house with, with the concrete and touching up those inlets.
A admixture like a patch?
Yes, that is correct.
Does it adhere?
Yes, it works very
working?
well, and that's why we took the
Because this
picture.
picture here is typical.
It's the before, and then you see the after, that's correct.
That's what our typical inlet looks like, exactly like that. And this deal down here looks like that you've done a new concrete deal.
No, it's just touch up. It is.
And that's a lot of money. You're talking about a lot of money to do one of those structures.
Yes.
To do the entire thing, you're absolutely correct,
Yes.
so yes.
A lot of money.
Yes, we're just trying to do the minor repairs, but the team is willing and able. It just is timing, also identifying, and then trying to.
Who's, I didn't know we had anybody with the talent to be doing cement.
Our public work
work.
maintenance team, yes.
So we got people to do that stuff now.
Yes.
Great.
Chelsea's challenging us, and we're kind of meeting that challenge, so.
See, click fix.
Quick fix, yes.
Ed, if you have any locations, you can send me an email or
No, you can go in the ticket thing.
see click fix.
I'll just get red paint and spray them.
And then you take that paint and put it on the hydrants instead, would you?
Yellow would be nice.
That's got a flow indication. I don't want to do that. Red's what, 1,000 gallons a minute?
All right.
That'll get us trouble.
Anything else
Thank you.
for Bill?
No.
All right. We'll bring back the.
All right, so FPL project update.
Yes, attached you see a draft letter. I've been working with Teresa, Terry, Avery, and Charlie. And
Thank you.
we've been meeting, we're going to try to meet every 2 weeks. And we worked through this request, this draft letter. I drafted this using Copilot AI, if I'm being completely honest, by utilizing their community's request as to exactly what we're asking of FPL. So ultimately, I'm looking for your blessing on this letter to send it to FPL.
Is this the letter in addition to the one that already went out? The one you sent about 2 weeks ago?
Separate letter.
So that letter's gone.
That one's off.
Have we heard back from that letter?
So
That's been over a week.
in tandem, the vice president of Hampton Park HOA sent a similar letter and got a response back from the FPL team that they would agree to some type of in-person meeting in September. So I didn't want to double request unless there was no action.
You talk about a town hall type meeting?
So again, and thank you for coming up. So I want to make sure we're clear. First of all, I wanted to get, since you're representing, I wanted to get your blessing on this letter. Does this cover everything? Because I already gave Chelsea 2 feedbacks that I thought it was missing in here, but I want to know from you, from your committee, does this satisfy you guys? Is anything that you wanted it and somehow did not appear in here?
That's a difficult question to ask because we're learning things all the time. And we want to make sure that there's an ongoing effort, which with our every 2 weeks. But do you guys have anything to add? I mean, this is what we asked for, and I think.
Okay,
this
so
is
I
where
guess my very direct question is, there was nothing that you guys wanted at a specific plan or a specific request that was not listed in here? Okay. Because what I did notice, it's missing in here, and that's why it's like, it's so important that we stick to a plan, we work on a plan, we agree to the plan, we stick to the plan. So I was caught off guard, and not that, anyone can reach out to FPL, but you guys came to the board and asked our blessing, asked us to ask FPL for a town hall meeting. Before we even be able to do that, that step was taking place by your community. So then the question rises on us, if you were able to do it, then why did you need us? We're going to do it anyways. So for me, the only suggestion I have is, while I appreciate other parties not associated with your committee asking for a town hall, the last thing I want is us not to ask for it. I understand that you don't want to double ask, but I think it's very important, and I think it is missing on this letter, because all you're asking is information and data. You're not asking for a town hall meeting.
We can reiterate our
That
request.
is my feedback, and I don't,
I agree.
because the request came to us to go with FPL, and that was a direction to the board. So I understand that it's a feeling like we don't want to double do it, but that's what we promised the set of residents that came into this board. Okay, so
So-
that is my suggestion for that. The only other thing that I wanted understanding of it, it's on the first paragraph, the last sentence that says, and coordinate the affected stakeholders. What is the expectation and what does that mean? For us to coordinate? I want you guys to be very specific. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, we think.
So if you, yeah,
I think what we're asking
Hang on,
is,
can you just wait till you get up here? State your name for the record, and then you can
Charlie Smith.
give your comment, please.
I think what we're asking is that the district write this letter to FPL and get the information that we need to further the efforts of the committee. And doing that, if there's information that you need to disseminate to people that you learn to the rest of the district, then have at it. Because I think there's stuff in there that you should be doing that. If you don't, then we're going to do it for Hampton Park. But we feel that the thing that's missing is the other developments are not getting that information.
okay, so I'm opposed to the word coordinate. I'm totally okay with communicate. I'm okay with us communicating. And that's just me, and we can all speak. I'm okay with us communicating, but I'm not okay with saying coordinating. Does that make sense to you?
Makes perfectly good sense
Okay,
to me.
how does the board feel with that?
I'm fine with that, and I also agree with you that we need to clarify affected stakeholders. Ambiguous, in my opinion.
Okay, so then as of right now, the board agrees that we should at least continue, because we haven't asked for the public hall meeting, and where they can either provide all this information in a public hall, or they can give it to you ahead of time, right? Perfect.
I'd rather have it sooner rather than
Oh,
later.
yes, yesterday would be great. I would suggest the remove coordinate and put communicate. And then in addition, affected stakeholders, I'll ask, was it Avery that wanted to, or use it speak? I don't know which one was gonna give it an answer. Whoever is going to, just come in Charlie's.
And real quick, if we do get response that says, hey, we've had requests for multiple town halls or meetings, we can say that we would be willing to start with one, and we will help coordinate.
Yeah.
Bring people together so they're not having to do two or three.
I will tell you that FPL doesn't really look at the meeting that we're having as a town hall meeting in any way, stretch or strictly an informational,
Well, and that's a good, well, that's a good point. It's
It's
either,
not
are
like
we,
a
what
debated
type of
question.
meeting are we requesting? Is it a town hall? Town hall is open and it's more informational and communicative.
Questions.
Yep. A planning or something more around design, what's in regulation, what's allowed, that's more of a negotiation.
Workshop meeting.
More of a workshop, yeah. We need to be very clear on what we're asking for, what type of meeting, because the outcome and the representation could be different.
I think we have a better chance at a workshop meeting
they're not gonna
than
want a
coming
town
to a
hall.
meeting where we have.
I don't, yeah.
Do what?
I'm thinking I'm envisioning this is very similar to, I'm envisioning this, I don't know if any of you were part of when we had the waste management town hall in here. And kind of what they did, they had boards in 5 different locations, and then residents from Pelican Preserve, residents from Stony Brook, they were affected because they were near geographically to the location. They came in, and I think they had 5 or 6 different people representing. So they had like set up groups, and people were asking questions and so forth. That was the setup. But however, we're not going to dictate how they're going to set up. But that was what we had in the past. But then again, to Doug's point, that's going to be informational only.
And that's my point. Like a town hall is for informational. They're going to show you what they're doing. We're asking not only to get better understanding of what they're doing, but also we have some requirements or some
different things.
Some areas that we want addressed as part of the planning process to be incorporated. That's different than you just telling us what you're doing. So I think we're going to want a little bit of back and forth as opposed to just telling us what they're doing.
So again, to be clear, this meeting that we're having in September is they're providing information to the Hampton Park team. We ask them for that, and they're going to come do that. We haven't paid yet, but
that's not a town hall meeting.
Are you attending that? Staff attending that?
No, it's, so that was my point. So I'm not very good at trying to say things in a nice way. I just say it how it is, right? So you guys are coming in here and you made it very clear that the Hampton Park is very educated on this. This has happened, but what you want from us is to tell the other communities. So here somebody took the opportunity to have a town hall meeting that is open for Hampton Park only. So the complaint of not informing all the people it's creating.
Hampton Park, it's open to the public.
we can, I believe we've invited. But it's not a public meeting for all the residents. All we're trying to do is get information. That's all we're trying to do.
Don't you think everybody else is as well?
Yes.
Don't you think everyone else is as well?
I don't know. I don't know what everybody else is doing.
Were you guys invited to this meeting?
Not explicitly.
Question I've got.
So then that's the thing. So they're going to have a meeting. Staff is not part of the meeting, but then we're expected to give a recap on what the meeting happened, or expected to take the recap while we're not there and then pass that on. So those are the things that I worry about.
We're not asking you to do anything at all with this meeting, and we will invite Chelsea to the
Yeah, no,
meeting.
that's fine. So that's
We're not
what,
asking you to do anything with the
You
meeting.
can't ask us for help and then exclude the district and other members.
of the help that you asking this
of what you're
for.
pulling us
We're
into.
not excluding anybody. Maybe it's an oversight. We haven't thought through who's going to come to the meeting because it hasn't been
So
scheduled.
you've been
yet.
proactive. You're not excluding. What we would ask for is you just be a little more transparent and inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah?
Question for you. To what extent Holmes Ballpark, Hampton Park, we were playing golf the other day, and afterwards we had lunch, and 3 guys that live there, I was asking them about this. None of them knew a damn thing about it. Nothing. Has the community had emails to all the residents of what the issue is? Because they knew nothing. They live here full time.
Can you just come?
Yeah,
I'll allow you to
I
speak.
just wanted to find out.
Okay.
We're not blaming anyone.
Okay,
Yeah,
so first,
I just want to find out,
Let me
all
just-
of the people in Hampton Park, because when we talk,
Okay.
everybody in Hampton Park's opposed to this. Well, I talk to people that don't even know about it, so I'm questioning what extent has the HOA sent out letters or notices that this clear cut's coming?
It's on our agenda at
so
every
before you
HO.
speak, I will allow you, but please state your name for the record. All right.
And it's on our agenda since June.
on every HOA meeting, and I think the invitation to FPL came out simultaneously from Chelsea and our vice president, unbeknownst to our team.
And that's what I'm trying to.
And that's the confusion, and I don't think there's any problem with having 2 meetings, because this is a linear park issue on Gateway-owned land. So Gateway could have their meeting with FPL, and we have been offered a site plan meeting at our HOA. We had nothing to do with that simultaneous invitation, okay?
And I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to get things to organize, and that's why I called Terry, because we're getting it, and I think that's what's important, to make sure that while Vice President was able to get a town hall, when you guys came and you asked for one, that's what's missing in this letter, from our end. So that's, again, this board would like to include that in here, that we're asking for, remove the word coordinate and put communicate, and then effective stakeholders.
Define what that is.
So you're
Is that any-
indicating though that the
is-
HOA has sent
is
out a
affected
letter to all
stakeholders,
500 and some
any-
of them?
Yes, our
residents
communication committee.
or communities that are
You guys, why they
impacted?
don't know anything about it.
Or is it all of Gateway?
Their
Yeah.
emails, as you know, and I'm telling you, thousands of people within use that path that don't know. So it's not just our issue.
Trust me,
It's a huge
we
issue.
understand you put stuff out and people don't read it.
They don't read it, and sometimes they're not
Really
signed up for the email, and they just don't get it.
I
and-
hear that all the time.
Yeah.
so.
And, FPL has said they will come, and it's Hampton Park specific, to Hampton Park and give the site plan. And we have asked for a meeting before that with some requests, we're shooting for the wind, and maybe if we get something. But as you know too, the Wink story is going on today. I think we gave a very proactive, positive, hopeful message.
All right.
So,
That's
yeah,
airing tonight?
today at 4 and 6. They were in the community.
So will you guys be okay with communicate with Gateway residents instead of coordinate effective stakeholders? Because then communicate with Gateway residents, all we do on our end is put it on the website and put the information out there, because the Gateway residents will encompass everybody that's in Gateway. So I don't want to specifically say just the effective areas geographically, because I may be affected because I live in Magnolia, but I am now affected because I go
Maybe
that way
it's-
and I pass.
Maybe it's not even Gateway Community, yeah, maybe it's, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
the board okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we cover everything, so everything's in there, nothing else is missed. Okay, that's it. Thank you, I appreciate you guys staying.
All right, I will get this out tomorrow. All right, thank you.
District Attorney Tony.
Yes, I guess I'll start with one item that I guess positive news, a couple of things there. One item that's not on the agenda on my report. The Fairway Lakes Office Park apparently is reconstituting, reinstating, and has applied to the court to get the $200,000 plus that's in the court registry for the taking of the one parcel. And part of the issue is I have the email from Mr. Abellini, the attorney for that reinstituted association. They're hoping to get the money quickly because Lee County government is refusing to issue any building permits for buildings in the commercial subdivision because there's not an association engaged in maintenance of the common private roadway. This was back in April of this year. So I think that was the impetus for the, so that's good news, I think.
That is good news.
Yeah, I appreciate, I happen to still be on the service list for filings, and then Mr. Evelini filed a motion to withdraw funds, and I went, oh. And Mark and I get along well. We've been on the opposite sides of the fence many times, but we get along well. Again, Lee County wastewater rates, working with Chelsea on that. OAK demand letter, working with Chelsea on that with regards to making demand and listing the bases for the assertion of any liquidated damages, reserving the right to ask for certain actual damages. And so that's a work in progress.
Tony,
Yes.
what does the contract say relative to liquidated damages?
Let me pull it up. You have a second, Ed? Let me pull it up.
Because I've been down the road on this one, and if you've got liquidated damages and you've got it defined, seldom do they allow you to tag on extra stuff. That's what the idea of establishing a liquidated damage.
Understand.
Does
I
our
don't want to
contract
make-
say that?
Yeah, what I would suggest is we just look at the contract and I think the contract's pretty clear. Let me find that file if I could real quick. Bear with me.
Yeah, somebody put that in for us, and you read it and understand that, agree that it's legal.
All I
That's
can say
fine.
is, the district is taking the position, we're going to enforce the terms of the contract as written. And in the contract, here's the contract.
We're enforcing the contract.
Yes. And I don't want to try to, I don't want to try to find any opportunities for OAK to try to challenge it, but bear with me.
I just want to make sure our attorney approved the language for liquidated damage to be a part of a
Here's-
total settlement
No, right
package.
here. Liquidated damages, they recognize that time is of the essence of this agreement. The district will suffer financial loss if the work is not completed within a time period specified above, plus any extensions allowed by change order or otherwise provided. They also recognize the delays, expense, and difficulties involved in proving in a legal proceeding and the actual loss suffered by the district if the work is not completed on time. Accordingly, instead of requiring any such proof, district and contractor agree the liquidated damages will be assessed in the amount of $500 per day for each calendar day that is beyond the substantial and final completion dates required by this contract documents. But then it goes on to say, the contractor shall also be liable for any actual damages sustained by the district after contractor has achieved substantial completion for contractor's failure to fully complete the contract documents.
Okay.
Actual
That's what I was looking
damages
for.
may include but not be limited to costs related to supervision, inspection, rentals, testing, consulting fees, or lost productivity and overhead.
So then we've got
An opportunity.
an opportunity
Yes.
to get well over $500 a day.
We have an opportunity to assert actual damages. Let's just put it that way. And we reserve that right in the letter.
And they acknowledged the letter and responded back.
Atlantic Pipe Services, I think Stephen,
And what did they say when they responded back?
That they are the shortfalls, and they look forward to getting the project completed, and an open discussion.
There was no affirmation of liquidated damages.
I don't recall. I'd have to go back and
The
read it.
extra pencil that falls in and you have to write more, it goes into that list.
it's a public record, so if you want to send it to the board, I mean, at some point.
I can send.
As
I'll
opposed to
send.
paraphrasing it or reading it off.
Yeah, I'll send the letter we
Yeah.
sent and then their response.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, me too.
This is real slippery slope, real
I know,
slippery
less
slope.
is more.
Do what?
Less is more.
That's what Chelsea's hinting at. With regards to Atlantic Pipe Services, Tetra Tech, Mason touched upon that. So I think staff is just analyzing how to proceed with the next phase or two of that project. Kyle Pallone, a bond deferral agreement has been drafted, so that's in progress. Chelsea, I think, has sent it on to the developer. The temporary construction easement for Club at Gateway, that was completed and sent on. That was for the pond restoration on one of the lake banks in the Gulf Course. The amended and restated bond deferral for North Haven, that's been completed and sent on to North Haven for review. The Daniels Parkway utility issues, I think we finalized today, hopefully, the language of the temporary construction easement. There was just one more section or a little portion of the agreement with regards to when the temporary construction easement expired that the attorneys for Daniels Parkway wanted revised. So I sent a revised draft out today. We're working well with them on that. Going to Santa Luz, I'm holding in my hands. I've not yet had a chance to review it. Chelsea has. An email from the attorney from Lennar that came.
Any writing on it?
Yes, and it came in with the revisions to the agreement. I've not looked at it yet, so I'll look at it and coordinate with Chelsea as to, and also with Rob Cooper, the attorney for the association, see if we hopefully bring this back to the board at the next board meeting. But one thing I thought was interesting is, as you know, Chelsea and I have continuously over and over again stated, let's get this done in the dry season, let's get this done in the dry season. So it was interesting is, I've inserted that the start date is October 26, 2026. Please let me know if this presents a problem and your reaction to my fellow edits. Then it goes, with regards to, we really need to get this executed. So the trades are bound. So anyways, I'm glad that they responded, and I'll get with Chelsea to try to wrap this up. The hidden leaks units, water damage, Laura and Chelsea are handling that with regards to any carriers or any demands that are being made. Park amenities, operational guidelines, I have the initial draft of rule development and just need to get that out the door to Chelsea. I'm going to the next page, I think. Yes.
Wait a minute, I missed, did you hit hidden links?
Yes.
What's going on that? Because the owner was quizzing me of what is the CDD doing? And I thought, I didn't know the CDD was doing anything. Have we received a demand from the owner or their attorney that we have, or our vendor has liability up there?
We've received, yes. Yes, we forwarded that to our insurance carrier.
That's the first I've heard that we've received any notice of.
It was an email back about a month ago. I can check real quick.
So where is it at right now?
We submit it to insurance like we do every.
But is the damage for us or is it for our vendor?
That's for insurance divided out.
Okay, we'll do it that way. Okay.
Yeah, and again, there might be issues with regards to the unit owner above, that there may be some other liability, culpability. Is that a fair statement, Chelsea?
So let insurance company handle.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so, Tony, back to the Series 2026 bond issue. It says
that's
it was
just-
authorized in June, but I thought we were still working on, I thought it was with Tetra Tech to put
Get
it
the
all
report.
in order.
Yes, I
That
received
there could be a
today
bond issue.
the engineer's report. I was not on the initial distribution list, come to find out. I don't know what I did wrong that annoyed you guys. I'm just kidding.
So we have two parties. We have Tetra Tech and,
So is that proceeding or?
That's what, for example, in your consent agenda was the agreement with Raymond James, Rhonda's company, to assist in all that. The engineer's report has been prepared. It had some initial reviews. Russ has reviewed, as I understand, has seen the engineer's report, but he's working on his methodology report. So all that's
where's
in
Russ
progress.
Wire on all his report?
That's where he's working on his now that he has the engineer's report. Is that?
How much longer in this process?
So what's going to
How many
happen?
more people have to touch it?
Well, the whole
You-
group has everything now.
You all, it's going to come back to you all at your next board meeting. The engineer's report and the assessment methodology report.
And hopefully resolutions to adopt them, approve them, and authorize issuance.
So the
Correct.
next
Plus
step
some-
in action will be hopefully to come to you at your next meeting.
That's that second meeting in September.
No.
I thought we canceled
the
one.
first-
First meeting in September.
No, we canceled, we're having the first one. We canceled the second one.
Okay, well, if Tetra Tech's not going to have their report until September 1, how are we going to have?
Yeah, they did. They have it. It's done.
Just need to be reviewed and any comments and suggested edits made.
to have a draft document
From
look at our first meeting in September.
your draft of the engineer's report and the assessment methodology
Can we
report.
get that well before the meeting? Each one of those is going to be 30 pages long.
They're not, yes, with the exhibits, they're probably 30 pages.
And will, at that time, we have an estimated amount of bond payment going into the future then?
That's what Rhonda will be working on. That's part of her analysis also with, assuming various interest rates, amortization schedule, cost of issuance, capitalize, all those costs, that's what she'll be working on that. And there'll be a supplemental trust indenture like we have in the past, because we have to have that.
Well, will we have that also at that first meeting in
I don't know.
September?
Well, if we have the whole entire package, so the concept, Chelsea, is to have the board approve everything that day.
So as a follow-up, we did try to do the private offering with the multiple banks, and it looks like we're going to have to do the public offering instead. We did try to save the money, but the banks want us to move all of our accounts, and our existing banks, the rates aren't ideal.
And the terms.
And the terms aren't ideal. So we are looking to proceed with the public offering instead of the
We
private.
flip-flop because the banks have put a trailer on it that we give you this, we want this
Exactly.
back.
Yep.
They
So
didn't tell us about that the first time? Very strange.
Yeah, most banks are going to that now, it seems like, with borrowings from the CDDs I represent. They want to have the CDD establish a depository relationship. Yeah,
they want their cake and they want to eat it too.
that's
Okay.
been going on. recently, so yeah, Chelsea
But we
and
should have
Rhonda.
some real numbers in that first meeting in September.
But I think the idea is to have the real numbers and also approve everything at that time. Is that a fair
Yes.
statement, Chelsea?
Yes.
Which
Get
would
you
then
we'll get
include-
you the draft engineer's report.
Well, you had that table that did a comparison, and it was a substantial difference of going with the bank.
The terms were not favorable in the long run.
Plus the depository requirement. Chelsea, can I take this easement for the sewer line breach by the excavating contractor? We sent out the demand, Chelsea did, I drafted, sent out the demand to two companies. The interesting aspect on this was the right-of-way permit that was applied for to Lee County was by one company called CCIM. The listed contractor was a company called Tillman. There was an insurance company called Quarry. And then the actual vendor in this instance appeared to be a company called Quality Over Everything.
This is the.
Was it everything over quality?
Yeah, I
think-
know, yeah.
Sorry.
And now, yeah, and so the demand letter went out to CCIM and Tillman and Quality, yeah, QE.
Okay, so we do know.
Yes. Yes.
We have good information as to who the vendor was that hit the line.
Boring company.
Yep, the boring company.
And is it disputed?
Well, I don't want to get into the legal arguments now, but
Oh, okay.
there have been some conversations between Chelsea and some of the vendors as to attempted allocation of responsibility. Is that a fair statement, Chelsea? Thank you. Yeah, so.
You'll have an item up next.
Right.
The contingency fee agreement. And on that point also, we have a new attorney that's going to be involved. I'm being double teamed by the Brakefield attorney. Lenore's sister has joined the firm. She's out of Jacksonville. She worked for an insurance defense firm for a number of years. And her last case that she just resolved involved subsurface boring. So Lenore and I and Lindsay will be working on that if the board signs the agreement. Again, Chelsea, on the lift station, so I just take that off the list or not with the church?
Yep. Off.
Okay, I'll take that off. And then the rest are just sort of the routine items that are going on, waiting for certain results. And back to your question, Ed, about the hidden links. If you go down to the last item, I'll call it claims and notices. It lists the hidden links. There's a letter of notice of claim from Farah and Farah on a separate matter. And so those are being handled by the insurance carrier. Oh, and that's all I had to report.
So the next item, Flavia, when you're ready, is the contingency fee agreement related to claims associated with the sewer main line breached by the excavator. Looking for your approval.
Looking for a motion?
Yes, please.
That's what I thought.
Well, he is, but yes.
So you're good, Tony. In summary, you're good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So I need a motion.
Well, wait a minute. So it's to authorize, to represent and contingency fee agreement. So this is one of those things where, my
don't get
understanding
paid, he
is,
don't get paid.
is a contingency fee is, you only get paid if we get something.
Correct. And the typical contingency fee case is usually 25 or 33% because of a longstanding relationship with the client. That's why it's 20% unless we go to trial, then it goes up because of the cost and expense of trial. Yes.
You're giving me as a break?
Yes.
Oh,
We deserve a break today.
we're gonna name one of the pickle courts, Tony.
No, I think Chelsea prefers something more tangible for that.
Oh, okay.
My understanding from her conversations with me on that point.
She laid that heavy on you,
Something
huh?
more tangible. No, this is, yeah.
Okay, so that
She is really good on that, by the way, too.
if we don't recover anything, you don't either.
Correct.
So moved.
So I have a motion. Do I have a second? I'll second for discussion.
Oh, I thought you'd already seconded it.
No. Not, any discussion? Not further? No? All right. Go ahead and call it for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you very much.
Agenda management, anything?
If anybody has any questions for Chelsea on the agenda management instead of going line item by line item? Carol?
No.
No? Ed?
I don't.
Doug?
I do know that, I think Stony Brook, some language to update their documents around e-bikes, motorcycles. So just be aware, we're seeing other communities start to adopt e-bike language in their docs.
Doing what?
Stony Brook's updating their documents to address e-bikes. The
Coverage?
motorcycle, yeah, the motorcycles, non-pedal e-bikes. So just
Okay, yeah.
You got a board better than mine. Might go
All right.
talk about it.
Bob, anything?
No, I don't have anything.
All right, so Bob, last Friday,
Say that again?
paycheck.
Yeah.
Did you notice your paycheck last Friday?
No, I've been in the hospital for 9 days now, so I haven't seen anything.
You're gonna be happy.
Oh, okay. I'm always happy.
I'd be shocked.
You might be shocked, you're right. Okay, so,
Why did that number not come up to an even number?
Taxes?
That was an tax issue? Okay.
You always get
Stop
taxes taken
complaining.
out.
No, I was trying to figure out how they calculated it.
I like the calculation. All right, so we'll go ahead and take a break.
Anybody have any?
No, I asked Carol first.
I thought.
No, yeah. No, all right, so
So
we'll
we'll
take
take-
a recess.
Recess until 6 p.m.
All right, so it's 6 o'clock and we'll go ahead and,
Resume the meeting, back in session.
the meeting is back in session and then I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Well, first, Madam,
Doug and Bob on first.
yeah, Madam Chair, what I would suggest also is first, before we do that, is that for the record, the affidavits of publication and the affidavits of mailing with the exhibits are in the records of the district.
They are.
No, I just want to make sure,
Yeah.
just for the statement for the record. And then you're right, if you could make a motion to have full participation by Mr. Banks and Mr. Geppert.
So moved.
Second.
So I have a motion.
Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, can
Aye.
you hear as well? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now it's appropriate to have a motion to open the public hearing.
I move to open the public hearing.
Second.
So I have a motion to open the public hearing by Carol, second by Ed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so we'll go ahead and move into comments. So what do we have?
I have an in-person and I have one to read in.
So go ahead, let's do the reading.
Okay, first we have Darwin Larson regarding parking and spending. I'd ask that you please step up to the podium. Just announce your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes to speak, and I will not start your time until you tell us who you are.
All right. My name's Darwin Larson. I live in Eagle Point. Just wanted to question the whole parking signs and the parking. And the question I have is I appreciate you all giving us the residents an opportunity to park there for free, but I'd like to know who's going to be monitoring that and where the funds are coming from to monitoring the parking and how that's going to be controlled. And the other thing that I wanted to address is just the spending that's going on in this community. We moved here 10 years ago. I've been on the board at Eagle Point twice, and I ran budgets, and to me, it just seems that there is an incredible amount of spending going on in Gateway. Literally, we just got a news article stating that Gateway is looking a lot like McGregor in the beauty that McGregor offers and Gateway. And I'm just curious why all this spending is going on and why do we keep having this? The fountain, for example, there's soap in there once a month or whatever it is that's down, and we just keep spending money and money. And in this economy right now, people are looking, this is primarily a working man's community. I'm a disabled veteran. I survive on disability from the VA. And it's pricing me out of this neighborhood that I love. And so I'm just curious, with all this spending that's going on here, if there's any intentions of curbing that and at least measuring that. This assessment seems extremely high. We built this monstrosity of a building down here next to the pool when we have all these buildings up here at the corner completely wide open. when we could have leased them or we could have moved into them as gateway services for time being. And I'm just curious. I would just like answers to all that if I can, please.
Thank you. So during the public hearing, usually we don't engage with answering questions. We'll kind of guide you to the staff, but I would like to take the time to actually address since we don't have many speakers. So I appreciate you coming. In regarding to parking and the signs. So I spoke with you and I don't know, the signs are still staying. I think we decided that we're going to remove some of them at that location because there was an overkill for the 11 parking lots, parking spaces. Regarding monitoring, the company that we hired to do the sign, they'll be the one doing the monitoring. So they would, it was a scanner.
With staff as
Yeah.
well.
So they'll be monitoring and so they'll have the controls of that. And the funds for it, do you want to speak with that? For the company.
So the parking, the district has $0 that we've had to expend for anything. I know that there was some posts on social media about the signs and the cost of those. The district had zero cost, zero capital cost, zero input cost for this. We have, I believe it's an 80-20
split.
80-20 split. We will get 80% of the revenue collected for any parking of non-residents into the community, and 20% will go to the premium parking, which is to manage this. So I don't want to speak on behalf of the board, but the intent was to help offset operational costs of all of our facilities.
So it kind of touches into your second, question regarding budget. So the point of having the pay parking by non-gateway residents is literally to offset the costs of a budgeting season, the increase that we have. I know Eagle Point, you're a single family home, so you increase that, it's proposed as a 0.9%, which is at $10.99 per year. So getting the parking is one of the ways that we can do to try to lower those fees, not for you, but for every other community. So the 80-20% split is literally what we get. 80% of the revenues will come to us, 20% will go to that company. Regarding the board spending, I would like to know specific what is it that you feel like there is overspending, because this is the meeting. So this is what the important, like if you want to bring a line item and say, no, board, this line item I think is too much. This is the time, because this is when we'll have the conversation and we'll say, you know what, we heard for 50 of you that this particular line item you guys don't want, and then we can then act and address accordingly. But bringing a generous statement of overspending, it makes it difficult for us when we take a good 6 months out of the year looking at budget, workshop after meeting and trying to cut, because we all pay the same amount. We also pay, the increase also applies to us. So if there's something specific, I will give you some time that you can tell me on the agenda, or when it comes into that line item, like if it comes, as a light bulb, just raise your hand and I'll make an exception and let you in. Regarding the fountain was not a GSCDD project, so that fountain cost over $2 million. It was something that was budgeted on Lee County. So Lee County had that money. So either they spent in Gateway, so they didn't give us the fountain because we taxpayers funded that $2 million, right? So they had that in their budget, so they could have put the fountain in Lehigh, they could have put it in Fort Myers, they could have put it whatever they want. They decided to put it here. We embrace it in lieu of a light, because a light at that point would have made more of an impact in Gateway, because the line of sight would have been much higher. They would have to take in a lot of oak trees, and during that time, we felt like the look of gateways and what represented Gateway was the tree. So just trying to give you some history, very detailed on what you get. So we do incur, the only thing that after a year, we do incur the cost of operating the fountain. There is not much. So we gain it, the fountain didn't cost us anything, but perpetuity, we will maintain the fountain. So I don't know what the cost is top of my mind. I can look at it and tell you what it is. But I do appreciate you coming. I do appreciate your questions. If there's anything more specific, like I said, when we're going through the budget that you want to ask, then you're welcome to raise your hand and we'll go from there. All right, next one. If you want to ask Judy, I'll ask for you to sign up. We'll read the next statement and we'll go over to yours. Go ahead, Laura.
All right, I have the statement from Rod Senior to read in for the record for the public hearing.
3 minutes. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. 3 minutes. Oh, it's the exact same thing he read at the earlier.
Okay, that's being introduced in the record for this meeting.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Our 2027 financial accounts don't tell the whole story. What's missing are useful management accounts. The attached handout was distributed at the 3 p.m. public comments. The handout shows a snapshot business model for the Commons Pool and Soccer Complex that was created by Stephen Bloom at my request when I was on this board in 2016. It shows revenues matched against allocated operating and capital costs. One metric that is missing is the number of gateway and non-gateway users. If you don't know who is using our amenities or the allocated costs and revenues, you can't just manage your business. It isn't easy from the current financial accounts to figure out what the true direct and indirect costs are for the Commons Pool and Soccer Complex. 2 weeks ago, Supervisor Ed Tinkle asked why the Commons Pool operating cost was showing only $112,000 on page 6 of the 2027 budget. The answer is that you have to play hide and seek to find the other missing costs. For example, staffing, landscaping, insurance, and security. The current financial accounting format is therefore not useful. I hereby request the district to direct Stephen Bloom to reinstate this management accounting page as a supplement to the set of accounts and to include number of gateway and non-gateway users for the Commons Pool, Soccer Complex, and the additional amenities being built at the new park. Was a business case made before investing $1.5 million in pickleball, bocce ball, basketball, and paddleball courts? Where are the usage projections to justify this investment? Or are we hoping that if we build it, they will come? Here are some usage metrics that we know. Commons Pool, 800 pool passes representing 13% of gateway homes. Soccer, 300 gateway kids representing 5% of gateway homes. These are unacceptably low usage rates and do not justify continuing to commit gateway taxpayers' money to these amenities, notwithstanding our liability exposure. What is your acceptable usage hurdle for the new amenities that you are building at Gateway Commons? Is it 10%, 25%, or 50% of gateway homes? How can you invest before agreeing on this vital metric? The new administration building provides an opportunity for the district to set up a pay point for all paying users of our parks and recreational amenities, including lessons, leagues, and non-resident users. We should not allow vendors to control the revenue stream. It is a district facility, and end users should pay directly to the district in the form of a credit card or digital pay, no cash. Controlling the money puts the district in the driving seat. This shift in mindset should also extend to the Commons Pool and the soccer complex. For years, the soccer complex has been a huge cash drain on the district. The predominant use is Gateway Soccer Association, where 800 kids pay $400 a year over 2 seasons. That's $320,000 in revenue from families that should flow to the district and not the soccer association. The taxpayers are footing the bill to maintain the fields, the floodlights, and face substantial liability exposure. As it stands, the field rental barely covers half of the true annual operating and capital costs. With the district controlling the money, both revenues and costs are then transparent and allows a reasonable contract to be negotiated in the daylight without requiring vendor financial disclosure. I hereby request the district to set up a pay point and agree on a policy of collecting money from all end users of our parks and recreational amenities, including all users of the soccer complex, in advance of the 2027 fall soccer season.
Thank you.
That was from Rod Senior.
I think Mr. Senior also had a separate.
A report from the 2015 financials.
Yeah, August 2015, he's requested
That was,
that also
that was the
be
same
part.
one that was handed out to you during the 3 o'clock. It is. It's the 3rd page.
I want to make sure.
Yep,
Okay.
it's
thank
in
you.
there. I didn't figure I had to read through all of that. So.
All right, so Judy, would you? Thank you.
Either point, circle. My concerns are unnecessary spending. And can I ask this board, how many employees do we currently?
34.
Okay, I won't engage in conversation, so you have your 3 minutes, and then when you're done, we'll answer the questions.
Okay. Well, that is a concern. I think we have unnecessary employees. There is a lot less that we need in this community that we feel like we are getting that we don't necessarily need. And from the people I've talked to in several of the communities, they don't want. They don't want. Their biggest concern was the building. You know, why build this big building? Why? Our monies are in a building that is going to be used for employees that some of the employees, they feel, and I feel, are not necessary. It's just overspending of things. And I know there's a time, and I've heard Ed say it over and over again, we kick the can down the road. But at some point, it has to end. We can't just keep spending. It's like Darwin said, we don't, our little community is being priced out. People are moving away because of how much is being spent, and they can go somewhere else, you know, and spend less and have a better place. So it truly needs to be looked at closely. If it's not a need, I tell my child all the time, if there's one thing I've been taught in life, there's a difference between a need and a want. If we want something, that's different. But if we truly need it, and I'm not sure the needs are truly being looked at. And that is a big concern for me. You know, I've lived here 30 years. There was cow pastures when I came here. That's why I moved here. I thought I was going to be in the country. If I wanted town and some big conglomerate, I would have moved somewhere else. I love the cattle drive. I love the equestrian. And I thought, I'm going to be in the country again, like I grew up. Somebody's turned it into something else. I don't point fingers at nobody. But less is more. And somebody needs
Thank
to
you,
hear
Judy.
that.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, and I would just address this and then I'll let the board address it. And it's something that Darson actually forgot. So growth will happen anywhere else. You know, 34 years, I moved here 20 years ago and I've been involved with the district about just as long. So I have seen the growth. Zoning and rezoning, I think I can recall in one hand how many times that we actually went through rezoning in some of the parcels. But in saying that, we as the board have no say on rezoning. That's something that the county allowed. And nothing will come from us. 34 employees is what we currently have. Without naming the employee, I would like to know, if you could, what position that you think is unnecessary. Like, 'cause to me, it's important. I want to sit here and this board wants to sit here and we want to listen to. So if you come to us and you say, you know, you have this position does this job description, it is not needed. Then it's something that we can look into it. But to bluntly said that we have 34 people and we are overstaffed, the amount of projects and the amount of items that the staff have, they are juggling. Sometimes I will tell you, it's not a feel, it's a fact. When I go back there, they're doing 2 different positions in one job. And I don't take that lightly. For the guys the ones that don't know regarding this building has 3 offices. So this building was too small. This board did look into not building another area. We tried to engage at that time with Alta, which is what the new apartments are, trying to buy that building, trying to lease that building. I'm sorry, let me correct myself. And it was extremely big. It was something that we did not need it. We also restricted on amount of things that we could park there because of being a utility company. We also look into renting places in Gardner. That was not an option. By the brewery, there were some places there we looked, not an option. The only place that we found, because right now we do have we don't have a central station. So half of the staff is here, the other half is being the leasing office. So there's a cost for that too. We look into buying the land near Rock Sushi. I think that at that time was around $800,000 to build it there and make it there. But it would be an additional spending of $800,000 when we looked and we said, you know what, we have land already. We can build where we don't have to buy the land. We looked into the fun park, and I know you're very close to that. We're looking at probably building it there, and then we had pushback from the community, so we couldn't do that. We did do some math, and I don't want to be wrong, but Chelsea, did we do the calculation? Was it at 10 years or was it 20 years that if we rented for 20 years at the location by the charter school, it would be equal the amount of dollars that we would spend building the new building and we would have nothing. So we did do that math too. So I want you guys to know that when we sit here, we look at now and we look ahead as well. So in 20 years, we would have nowhere to go because we just leased a place and we would be in the same position. So please, be mindful that we are looking at those soft, that we don't have answers for everything, and we're going to make mistakes. We're going to reroute it when we have to. But at this point, I, more than anything else, ask, like, be specific with us. Either if we're spending too much in one specific area, want us to look at, let's leave, well, we don't control the costs of everything. Things go out for bids. Sometimes we're in the mercy of vendors. 3 or 4 vendors go out for bid, 2 qualify, and from the 2, we have to pick. We are a government agency. It's not an HOA that you can just go out there and solicit things. So we are strict, but we do listen to you guys, and we do look at the budget. I know all of us. I mean, I feel like for 2 months, I dream with numbers, I just, and I can speak of all of us. We're trying to do that. So again, if you can think of it, today is the day that we'll be approving the budget. So if there's nothing that you can say now that can make us have a conversation on those specific items, but it will be things that we can have conversation for the next budget season, and regarding the projects, we have a lot of projects. So 38, we are 40 years in Gateway. So 40 years old, that's what Gateway is. And because we didn't maintain, like Ed says, they kick the can down the road, we're all paying it for now. And it is not cheap. Maintenance is a lot cheaper than having to redo everything else from scratch because of what I'll call, Tony, don't kill me, negligence at one point or another for just not doing it. So that's truly how I feel. If anybody on the board would like to add anything else, more than welcome.
One thing I'd point out is that I've been at this going on my 11th year on the board. We have never, ever at this position had a increase as low as this one was. We have been running for years trying to always come in and to keep it under double digit. I don't know how many years we went 9.5% to keep it under 10% double digit. This year we're under 1%. So I think we're doing a good job of trying to get it back. But unlike Flavia, the generalities, now, what specifically do you see in that budget that you would cut? What do you see as people you would cut? Keep in mind, we're running a utility, a $60 million utility. You don't run that with 10, 15 employees. And the age of our stuff is falling apart. So we got maintenance going all the time. Our maintenance on both Public Works and the utility side, they're busy. They're busy all the time. So I can't see a one person being too many that's in that group. The only place where I would have any consent with anybody, because I hear it in my community, is this Parks and Recreation. It's out of hand spending for people that don't want the facilities. We're going to look at that next year. As far as I'm concerned, if that soccer league doesn't come in with that 50, 60% of the money that thing's costing us, as far as I'm concerned, let that thing go to pasture. This is a waste of money. And that swimming pool, we're sitting down there with 800 people out of 6,000 users. Majority of the people in my community all have swimming pools. So there's things that need to be looked at. But when you look at them as the total part of the picture, though, you're not going to see a huge difference, but there are things that cost us operating costs. That's the killer. When you're looking at the pool, we're around, last time I saw, we're around $360,000, $400,000 a year, and the soccer's another $400,000 plus capital. That's real quick to get to $1 million doing that on 2 things that's used by less than 15% of Gateway. Now that you've got my attention on. But the other things, our utility, I mean, these guys are busting their butts, and like Flavia said, you get people doing 2 jobs. It's So I don't agree that we're overstaffed. We may be overstaffed for things that we don't need, but we're not overstaffed.
Cheryl, you have anything to add? No? All right. All right, so does that conclude public comments?
Yes.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Wait, before. There's no one there. I just checked.
For the record, we
Yes.
need to say that, please.
Also, are there any faxes, emails, texts, letters of anybody that came in with regards to the budget or the assessments?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Is anybody at the other building?
No.
Randy can vouch. She says there's no one there.
No one is here.
Hi, Randy.
He's waving. You can't see him.
So we have no additional public comment at this time.
Want me to read this, Tony?
I'm sorry?
Do you want me to just go on?
Yeah, well, this was the hearing for the budget adoption. So I guess the question is if the board wants to close the public hearing and then discuss voting and adopting the budget. Stephen, do you have any comments or questions to the board, or board have any questions of Stephen?
Presentation.
Here's a presentation.
want to close the hearing, then have the presentation?
Oh, let's keep the public hearing open while he makes his presentation.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
We're going to keep the public hearing open so that
Yes.
they can offer any
Yes.
response or rebuttal to
Yes.
what he says.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, great.
You want to state your name for the record, please?
Yeah, Stephen Bloom, Infomark. And so, again, this is version 5 that we're talking about here. So obviously, you have been living this budget. But I do want to kind of go through a little bit and give you some summary information, a very top level. And so, overall, your staffing plan is going up 1. Well, there's a separate slide for that. Within there, annual wages are increasing by a little bit over 100,000 compared to your current budget, and it does include a 4% wage increase. Again, this is nothing new from what you've already seen. Yeah, I better grab mine because this.
It's getting to us.
So my position with Infomark, I am the VP of Finance for Management Services. Within the district, my role here is more like a finance director.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So basically, the next chart in there kind of talks about the spending, and you can see the spending compared to last year is way down. Again, that's where the difference is in your project spending, down about $16 million. I have there a brief chart on your assessments. And again, this is covering the versions you have now, version 5. And as you mentioned, the single family for area 1 and 2 is a 0.9% increase. And then for multifamily, it's actually going down 1%. For Pelican Preserve, single family is 0.1, and multifamily is going down 1.3%. So these are the charts. Next up, this was, kind of all funds. It's all inclusive of what we're talking about, which when I say that, it means it's Lake Bank restoration, includes your debt service funds. All of that is in the percentages I just gave you. This is the chart that was published, put into the mail notice. Again, it has been updated with the current version, but you can see for all the different areas, exactly what the assessment rate is, and this is what's going to be in the tax bill. And basically, this kind of shows you the breakdown between
The tax bill, for everybody to know,
I
everybody
just got
get your
mine,
tax bill today?
I got mine yesterday.
Everybody, well, I got mine today, but this will be added to that and showing down on the bottom is
There'll be a
non-ad
separate
valorem
section,
tax.
non-ad valorem, and it'll say gateway services on there. And again, there's a lot of stuff on there, so you got to kind of look for it, but it is there. And again, this is the numbers, and again, it's an all-in. This is the annual number per unit. And again, if you're single family in gateway, it's $1,296.61. And again, that's a little bit under $11 change year over year, or 0.9%. And you can see for each one of them, single family kind of going down to the Pelican Preserve, $1,187.25. And again, that's $1.27 more than last year. Again, all inclusive, or 0.1%.
The next chart really looks at just O&M.
Before you go to this, I just kind of want to recap it. So looking at the previous chart, so we can see the biggest increase was commercial.
Commercial in Pelican Preserve was almost 15%.
Correct. And then all homes were in line with less than 3%. Or minus C5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
well below what the CPI is right now when you look at it.
I want my HOA to be this increase.
As Mr. Tinkle said, it's been many years where I've seen numbers like this, so this has been a very impressive budget. And we'll have some more details on that as we go through the general fund to kind of see where some of the cuts are. But this is the O&M piece of it. And again, meaning not debt service, not Lake Bank. O&M by itself for single family is actually going down 1%. For multifamily for gateways, going down 4%. Pelican Preserve, it's going up 0.1, and then for multifamily down 1.3%. So again, you pull it out and just look at the O&M by itself, a lot of negative numbers year over year. So it is down, which is good to see.
I don't think I recall ever seeing going down. Since I've been involved in this board, and even when I was on the other side, I maybe one random.
I don't remember any.
I don't remember it.
Okay.
Like we were used to struggle to get it under double digits. That was an accurate statement, and it was a struggle.
Your session is we're taking a lot of things in-house. So I know the staffing has increased, but the capabilities of staff where everything used to be contracted out. Just earlier, we saw the repair of a stormwater drain that our staff did that we used to have to pay, thousands of dollars for. So I just wanted to add that into it.
And so in the next slide actually does look at your staff. And again, you have budgeted positions of 36, but of that number, 15 of it is dedicated to your utility system, which again is not a lot considering the work that they have to do in the maintenance. 6 park and recs, 10 operations, public works, and then 5 admin. So, and again, you can see the trend here because I have, I don't know why I did that, but it was 27 people in 2023, and it was a struggle. And then you can see there really has not been any addition in the last 4 years. When you look at it, it was 36, 36, 35, and now 36 again. So now I kind of talk about each of the funds, just to kind of give you a little bit more of, it's still a summary, but a little bit more. So gross assessments is going up by only $89,000 year over year. You are going to be using bond proceeds, so this is about 7.6. Interest income, we keep talking about that. It's still an important factor for you. $180,000 just in the general fund is coming from interest earned on your investments. Miscellaneous revenue, $200,000 from the soccer park, $40K from parking fees is already included in your budget.
I like to point out that $40K of parking fee is almost 50% of the increase for the overall for the year. That's a way to look at it,
Yeah, and again, you're still putting in money for the future. 102 will be transferred into your capital project reserves for all that we keep using the word silos, but each piece of it. And then again, you can see the assessment trend. So you can see the percent changes. We just talked about that. 9.7, 19, 10.2, 6.7, and then -4. Again. So again, it has been, I guess last year was pretty solid too. It wasn't double digits, but you can see before that, certainly. Now the next page does cover where some of these decreases are in there. So most of the year over year is obviously reduction in your capital projects. But here, I did show you what projects are in there. You got landscaping, parks and recs, roadways, waterways, and admin. So there is about 2 point, I think that's a 7.6.
2.6 is Parks and Rec.
But decreases, landscaping services down 128,000. Really the only one that's significant here, you got Parks and Recs and Public Works. The Parks and Recs is really the additional position. That is where the additional position is coming in. Public Works is street lighting. 109,000 of that 116,000 is street lighting. But then landscape is going down, swimming pool going down, waterway management is going down, and then the last, which is kind of the all other fees. And this is not accidental, obviously. This is through a lot of hard work. Pelican Preserve, so the increase is about 400,000 in the assessments. Since the previous version, they're now using about 350,000 of reserves to cover it. And there is about 768,000 of what I'm calling other funding sources that's in the bottom of the budget. Now, the anticipation is that you will not be using all of this in 1 year, just because the timing of the projects is not that you're going to spend all of this, but we do have to balance the budget. And so that other funding sources will be TBD. See how that goes. There is a net increase in expenditures, about 318,000. I did kind of list new departments, share of projects as another example, increase in waterway management, landscaping. There are some decreases in here. We talked quite a bit over the years about operational admin services. It's actually going down by about 13,000. Operational expenses going down by about 22,000. And then safety and security by about 85,000. Again, there's the trend right there at the bottom there. You can kind of see kind of the same thing, 5.4, then 2.8, 0.4, 4. Okay, utility fund, about a $1.1 million increase in the billing. Again, a lot of this is to cover future loans. And, you know, I have in here about 742,000 in principal and interest payments. Most of that is the new First Horizon loan, but you also have 2 state revolving loans that's in there. The overall increase in spending is interesting. It's about 566,000 year over year. 266 of that is just the 10% increase for water and wastewater purchases. I mean, nothing that, you know, really kind of out of your hands. You've got to have money in there as a contingency. And then the rest is really an increase in the county. And not in your hands to kind of make that change, but it's important to have it because you just don't want to be short.
And then just in summary, for just the ones that are here, so those are the increases. We get our water from the county, from Lee County, so those are the increases that the county will put in for us for the water, and all we do is we pass it on. So if they increase 5% to us, we increase 5% to you. We don't make up money, so increases 5%, and now we charge you 8 to make. We literally are trying to, if they charge us 4 more, then we charge you 4 more. We're not up truing anything up as they do to us.
In terms of projects, about 5.3 of that 4.8 is finishing up your meter project. And then there's a loan for that piece of it. And then, you know, an important piece that we don't always talk about a lot for the utility fund is there's about 746,000 that's designated in this budget for what I'm calling reserve programs. That's kind of your future maintenance. It's probably not nearly as much you'd want. And that's kind of, you know, when you look at your water rates down the line, that's a low number, especially for your system. It's probably one of the areas when you look at the budget that as we move forward, I want to have a little bit more than that going into there for the future. The debt service, again, this is your 2023 1 and 2 bonds. No changes here. You can see for the last 3 years that amount is steady and will remain steady. And then the next slide where there is an increase this is your lake bank. So as new loans come online, which is usually about a year plus after construction, I have to add into it the principal and interest payments. So there, you know, we talked about the overall assessment actually going down in some areas. It would be even more if it wasn't for this, because this is a $20.27 increase per unit to cover the additional principals and interest payments. There's about $1 million put in there, $1.05 million in terms of principal and interest payments that are being made. And then again,
And before we move on, I asked Laura, she did some homework for us on the number of ponds that have been completed to date with this funding.
Don't tell us. Let me take a stab at it, and you take one. 36.
$43.
I might have missed a couple. I was having a hard time. I'm still sifting through some of the records that were kept before, but I have a total of 31 on my list so far, so.
We have about 25 to go,
21,
21 to go. Okay.
which we're wait, which
Yeah.
we are waiting on the grant funding, the remaining grant funding to hopefully get those 100% paid for through grant funds.
And it does not include Pelican because these are SRF funded only, so.
Yeah, this is non-Pelican debt here. Next slide goes through, this is after next year kind of shows the full next 5 years in terms of spending and the different categories. Obviously, this changes from year to year. Certainly something that you have available and we'll look at. The interesting chart that I preferred was the one that was requested on the next one. Here's a look at how the funding of this is, because again, it's a lot of money, but the first line is what's going to come from capital, which is non-financing. From there, you have bond, new bond, and then you have grant. And so again, we just talked about it, hopefully about $3 million of grant related, and then 120 next year. And again, you're not using in most of these years a ton of capital. But again, this is, like I said, this is kind of the ever-changing, but we do like to look at it for, kind of a 5 or 6 year period here.
And I want to point it out, and I want to give kudos to staff because being on the board, I do not recall. I will go out there and I won't recall $150,000 worth of grants that we had from previous district managers and previous boards. So $3 million, a little shy of the $3 million of grants that we receive, that is something to speak of. That is something that, you guys make us look good because you are the one that went out there, looked for, apply, and actually got those grants. And again, in 40 years, I don't think I can go back there and look at us receiving. In 40 years, I don't think we received $3 million in grant.
We're hoping to have a lot more on the horizon soon.
I'll make sure I put that on your review.
And then the last slide, it kind of covers your reserves. So the general fund doesn't have, and again, this really is what the boards have, what I call assigned reserves, which mean a board would say, hey, I'm assigning X amount to a certain category. It doesn't cover your unassigned amounts, so that's why the general fund really technically only has $700,000 for your emergency. But then I calculated about another 1.9 million that would be available, and I backed out anything that I consider to be an operating reserve, anything that I consider to be for current projects that are already in the pipeline. I didn't want to double count anything. That number is probably very conservative, but again, I just wanted to give you some idea of where each of the funds stood. And then the one that I wanted to mention again is the enterprise fund, because I have a 0 there as in terms of available. And again, as you kind of look towards the future, get through some of the current projects, I think that's going to be the one area where you're just going to probably have to kind of say, okay, what else do I need? How can I kind of build up some of the reserves for future maintenance?
2028, 2029, don't.
I understand that. And by the way,
I'm joking. If there's a need, we'll look at it.
The best way to do reserves, slow and steady. That's what I always tell you. Slow and steady gets you there. The big spikes are the problems when people try and do it. You do it steady, you'll get there.
And I do have to commend Mark because Stephen specifically with our investments and our investment earnings, I know he's been doing it for a long time for Pelican, and that's what has attributed to a lot of their reserves here. But even with our general fund and the enterprise fund is being able to be smart and safe with our investments and, being able to hopefully use that funding for capital projects that you're saving for to spend in the future or just to build reserves in and of itself. So
Slow and steady. Yep,
Slow
we
and
work
steady.
closely with them to make sure that the funds that we have sort of like sitting around, we're not going to need, we put them to work to earn interest for us that we can use that money to help fund future projects.
outside of hurricane season.
And I do believe that is something to speak of. I think working together. I think this is probably, the time that we had the most hands-on, staff, Stephen, and the board. To Bob.
Yeah, it's Bob.
Bob, can you
Well-
Oh, you have a comment?
Well, I wanted to say something. I wanted to make a comment. Along the lines of what was just said with the comments and help from Stephen. But I want to make sure we give a shout out and a recognition to the Pelican Reserve Advisory Committee over these last 15, 16 years, because that's the group that assessed themselves, put the money aside to have the adequate reserves. And it was all done at a time when our brothers in Gateway at that time were spending double digits and couldn't really afford to do it. So it's not a knock on anybody else, but it's a slap on the back for that group of volunteers, work they've done. So thank you.
And I have to agree with that. Pelican has always, most of the time, taken a proactive approach to things, so nothing was ever a sticker shock. That's why when sometimes we want to increase 2,000 on Bob, we almost give him a heart attack. Right, Bob? But yeah, I will say that with many a project, lakes and everything else, we do, we do look up to Pelican to see what has worked for them. Not that it means it's going to work for us, but we do take that, and I have to agree with you. All right, so questions. I'll start with Carol. You have any questions?
I do not.
Ed? No questions. Bob, do you have any questions for Stephen?
I do not. Good job, Stephen.
And Doug, do you have any questions?
No, just thank you, Stephen, for the work.
And I do not have any questions as well. I want to thank you for it.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
I move to.
Hey, Bob, you can turn your camera off.
Yeah.
To close the public hearing.
For the budget adoption public hearing.
We do that outside of the public hearing, though.
Right, because then you have a second public hearing on the assessment. That's why I said this is the budget.
Would it be now the right time for me to ask the public if they had any comments? Okay, so prior to doing that, I think it would be after the presentation from Stephen and after the conversations, hopefully we gave you guys some insight. I know it's out there, when you come once or twice a meeting, but if there's anything that it kind of didn't make sense, or you could have done better, or you want us to go back to a specific slide and go over and you have questions, if we can answer, we will, but I actually would refer to Stephen. Do you guys have any questions? Yes, Darcy. I'm just going to ask if you come to the podium so we can record your questions.
Well, the people online can't hear you if you don't come up here, so.
So the only question I really have is with the Park and Recreation. Thank you, Ed, for saying that, because I agree with you. It's huge. We go to that pool just because nobody goes there. It's peaceful, right? In the budget, in the Parks and Recreation, Steve, is there residuals of cost that are put in the budget that we're going to incur after all of this is built, as far as like the new pickleball, Boshi board, paddle, P-A-D-L-E, I don't know.
The way it's spelled there is correctly, but if that's what you're trying to say, the way we spelled it
Yeah,
was.
so I mean, is there any residual budgeted, I mean, because there's going to be residual costs. So I'm asking that
Stephen,
next year or so.
I can take that.
Okay.
So, Darwin, thank you for the question. We have budgeted for the first year all of the operational costs. We've actually been budgeting the operational costs for
1 year prior.
for 1 year ago, anticipating these costs to be forthcoming. One of the big conversations that we've had is user fees and non-resident memberships, to the point where the board has adopted a fee for non-resident memberships to be 2 times the cost of what you pay for Parks and Rec as part of your non-ad valorem assessment. So for every single non-resident, it covers the cost of 2 residents. But we have accounted for the operational costs. That being said, in a year from now,
We'll know the true cost.
I look forward to seeing you back at this public hearing, and we can have a conversation then to see if there were any unexpected costs that we didn't foresee.
And I think that's what's important, and that's what I'm really asking. I'm asking involvement during the process so we can look at it, because we've been doing the budget for literally 4 months, 5.
The start of the calendar year, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's in every agenda.
Steve, pull up the, or whoever's got control of the slides, go back to the Steve slides. Here's the one that I want to make sure everybody understands. The operating, I totally agree, that's one we got to watch. Go to the one that's got the dollar values for expenditures.
O&M, it's hard to say, it's tiny, sorry. Do you want this?
No, the one that's got all of the.
Capital?
Capital.
Okay.
The end.
There's the one. There's the one that's got me concerned. Look at that capital that we got through 32, and that one that's got me is $7 million Parks and Recreation. You do that with a bond, you're going to be paying that for 20 years, or 10 years, or 15 years, whatever it is. That's what I want to make sure before we spend that $7 million that we've got people that want these facilities and are going to pay for it. That's a lot of money right there.
I'll be glad to come alongside you and help you with that, because I agree. The other one, just one more question for the board. You had $40,000 projected, I'm assuming, for parking.
Correct.
Where did that number come from, and how do we come to that conclusion?
I can answer, you want to answer? Okay, so that's the total amount of parking spaces that we have. We get information from the leagues of how many people are signed for it. And the vendor also, in addition, was on site looking at the amount of people that were registered. So it's a combination of what we know, which is the people that are registered. And we're taking the lower number, right? Because they're not required, the soccer leagues are not required to give us that information. They just pay us for the field hour. So it's that information, also the total amount of parking spaces that we have available and the usage, because it's now year round. So that is all calculated. So when you look at the 40 grand, it's not 365 days a year, because we know soccer leagues are not going to be playing for X amount of months. So it could be higher than that if there's more usage or more interest of non-gateway residents into it. So I think as of now, it was.
It's an estimated budget.
It's
all
yeah,
there
it's
is
an
to it.
estimate, but I think, but I want to make sure this is a good time to talk about this too, because, and it comes to Ed's point and also Rod Senior's point, that gateway people, gateway residents are subsidizing. And I don't agree with that. They're subsidizing because non-gay residents are coming in to use it. And prior to this meeting, we had somebody here that attended and he spoke on the 3 minutes, and it was a gateway resident that didn't want us to raise the assessment for her, which means you don't pay anything, but you want us to pick up because I try my best with my facial expressions to be like, because I don't do good at that. But so we want usage of those parks. And the reason why I want somebody from Cape Coral to come and use that park, because they're going to pay $350 and they're probably going to use it 5 times a year. And I'm okay with that because they use it, we don't pay for it. So yes, do I want to get to a point that I cannot go to the pool because, it's full of other people? Then maybe if there's a demand, then we just raise it like Gateway Greens, raise those fees and collect more money. So that's listen, I'm all about collecting the money, but not from us. We are on the same team. I'm trying to collect it from the outside boundaries of Gateway.
I just want to address with the parking. I go to.
Which is the one across from us?
It's right across here.
Okay.
So on Saturdays when we have events there and Sundays when we have events there, there's parking all in the grass, all in the street. So has that been addressed at all?
So that's part of one of the projects that we have, which is the dog park moving to the commons. It's going to allow us to build additional parking spaces over here to try to aid the destruction that is happening on the road, because we were spending about $5 million redoing all the irrigation and all the stuff. So there was no point of spending that money when we knew there was a problem on parking. So we have to fix the parking to be able to continue that path. So it's literally 10 projects at once, and they kind of all have to work together. All right, thank you. I thought somebody stand up, but I'm like, I can't see close, but I can't see far. Anybody? No? Oh, okay. I saw some of them. I'm really kidding. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I love that we have people that come in, and I like talking, so you know how that goes. If you would like to come, please come into the. Aye.
Hi, I'm Steve Kennedy. I live in Hampton Park, and I am a previous CDD supervisor. So I want to give you kudos for keeping it as tight as you can with this year's budget.
Thank you. Can you say that one more time?
Well, you know, it's nobody.
We're all buying you drinks. So it's in the budget.
No, I think you've done a good job, and I worked, Infomark was our partner where I was at, and I found them to be a great organization, and just want to say thank you for the energy you put behind this, and someday when you get an open seat, maybe some guy will throw his hat in the ring and try to join you.
There you go. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys, last chance. No, that's all. Okay, we'll move on to close the public hearing. Carol, is that what your motion?
It was. It is.
It is? Okay, so I have a motion from Carol to close the public hearing, and second by Ed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So the public hearing has been closed. Thank you, guys.
Now, Madam Chair, the opportunity yet, now time is to adopt the budget for fiscal year 2027 by adopting Resolution 2026-20 and its attachments.
So moved.
Second.
And this would be version 5.
Okay, so I have a motion by Carol to adopt the latest version, version 5, second by Ed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And for the record, the version 5 is the one that's in the meeting book.
Double checking.
And I want to point out that you approved version 4. So we only went up one version between June and now.
Okay.
Between the high water mark and that.
Yep.
And now. All right, so
Question. Stephen, normally we have an attachment A and attachment B.
That's the next one.
Oh, okay.
You're ahead of
Ahead of
the game.
yourself.
That's the assessment. So we have a second public hearing to consider the imposition levying of assessments to help fund the budget.
thank you guys for coming.
And so I guess, Madam Chair,
Move to open the public hearing.
that's fine. Yeah.
And I have a motion for Carol to open the public hearing, a second by
Bob.
Bob. Okay,
Oh,
Bob. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
And that's the budget hearing to, again, for receiving public comment on, public hearing to consider the imposition of non-ad valorem special assessments to fund the fiscal year 2026, 2027 proposed final budget. You also have, the staff has, in the book has the affidavit of publication in the news press as required by Florida statutes. We have an affidavit of mailing by the staff of Infomark, and attached as Exhibits A and Exhibit B. Exhibit A is the list of the properties, which is 8,020 lines long, I think, on the Excel spreadsheet, not that I read it today. And it's 28.
This is the assessment roll.
Yeah, well, no, it's the document that was utilized to fill in the template, send out the notices, and in that it has the names, addresses, folio number, SRAP ID, all that information, and that's going to be attached as an exhibit.
This is what it looks
That's
like.
it. And then the form of the letter that was sent out by Infomark.
That's a big, long motion.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just explaining the document. So these are the exhibits that are attached. Exhibit B is the letter from Infomark, or the is the letter that was used as the form letter.
Do we have a hard copy of those documents?
No, well, we will tomorrow. We'll print them
We
tomorrow.
have to print them out to put with the resolution.
And we
so
post
yes.
them in the front lobby.
Yeah, and that document you just saw that Laura just brought up,
75
that will be
pages.
attached, hard copy, attached to the hard copy of the resolution. So when people go into the GSCDD Muni Docs website and look for resolutions, the resolution, hard copy Exhibit A and Exhibit B will be attached
We'll combine them.
Yep.
to the affidavit of mailing.
75 pages, so if you want one, you know.
That's down. I thought they used to be about 125 pages.
I took some columns out.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you have Exhibits A and B are, again, they're in the meeting book.
Okay, so you need a motion to approve exhibit A and B?
No,
Is that what you want?
No, I think the board can approve the rolls.
Do we have any public comment?
Yeah,
Do
that's
we
a
wanna
question.
address-
Do we have any public comment on budget and no?
Assessment methodology,
No, the assessment.
the assessment roll.
No, nothing?
Move to close the public hearing on the assessments.
I'll second that, and I'll go ahead and call for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Close.
The action by the board would be to adopt resolution 2026-21 and its exhibit A and B. A resolution of the Board of Supervisors of the Gateway Services Community Development District making a determination of special benefit, imposing special assessments for fiscal year 2026-2027, and they're providing for the collection and enforcement of special assessments, certifying an assessment roll, providing for amendments to the assessment roll, providing a severability clause, providing an effective date. That's all in order to be adopted.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make that motion.
I'll second. And Tony, isn't there a couple of lines that have to be filled out on that?
It was on the budget. I think that was in the.
Well, Stephen and I will make sure that gets done.
I may have motion by Flavia, second by Ed. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Let's go back to 2026-20, I think. Is what you're referring to, Ed?
2620.
Just bear with me a second here. If you go to page 194 of the book, which is
Yeah, we have to fill those
page
numbers in.
2 of Resolution 2026-20.
Stephen and I will get that completed.
I'm sorry?
Stephen and I will get that filled in.
Well, no,
To
we-
do today, we have to pull it up. All right, I have
Fill
it
up. So I guess
here.
if we can go
Where'd it
back, basically, that's motion to reconsider the adoption of 2026-20.
Do we have to have the numbers on it to approve it?
Yes.
And you're,
Yes.
Being on the prevailing side, I move to reconsider.
I just want to make sure I pulled it up. so-
Correct.
So I have a motion by Carol.
Second.
I was second by Ed. All in favor, say aye.
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 So now we have numbers to insert on the section
These are not,
of appropriations.
I haven't
and-
pulled this, the years are wrong on here. I haven't looked at this sheet before. The numbers are correct, the years are wrong.
There aren't any numbers on there.
yeah, we need the numbers.
So the first set of numbers.
Stephen, can you pull those up, please?
Yes, so general funds,
How about the total enterprise fund?
that's included, everything I put
Okay.
separate if you needed the record.
Yeah, for the enterprise fund, yes. The separate
Repeat
number.
the total, all funds.
The total for all funds,
Stephen, make sure the mic picks you up,
Oh, yeah,
please.
can you hop up here?
oh, sure. For total, let me start with the total for all funds. 34,357,833. Then I'm gonna start back up at the top and take the enterprise fund out of my previous number. So just the general funds without enterprise is 18,116,251. Then debt service is 2,947,688. And lastly, enterprise is 13,293,893.
The top one again, 14,
18.
18.
11625.
Be appropriate to promotion to adopt the revised resolution 2026-20 with the numbers as just outlined and reported to.
I'll go ahead and make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I'm hungry.
Thank you.
I'll do it here. I'll reprint the page.
Have we passed
I'll type it in
all,
and print it.
all needed recommendations?
Yeah, you passed the budget, the resolution.
It's not gonna fit.
First
I'll type it in.
2026-20, you've adopted the assessment roll, levied the assessments. In resolution 2026-21, you've directed staff to transmit the assessment roll to the tax collector and property appraiser and to make whatever adjustments and amendments are necessary and appropriate. That's in the resolution.
All right, so Carol, do you have any comments?
I do not.
There, just as a reminder, and Mr. Tinkle. Final roll events.
And that's what I attached.
Thank you very much.
We know you. Do you have any other comments, Ed?
I have none. Thanks, Steve.
Bob, do you
Thank
have any comments? Doug? Okay, I
I do
just
not.
want to say, all right, I just want to say thank you to staff, thank you for
Well, and For
Stephen,
the record, the
thank you
votes,
to Tony.
yeah, and the votes on the resolutions were 5-0. All voted in favor.
And thank you to the residents that were in attendance, the ones that sent out their comments to Chelsea, the ones that have attended not just today's meeting, but all the meetings that budget and workshops were in the agenda. We appreciate it. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
again, for the record, this is what the budget hearing, there were no emails, text communications from anybody on the assessment hearing. Okay.
So moved.
All right, have a motion adjourned, okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
At 7:04.
Oh, gosh.
Great job, everyone.